Sunday is a blind Sunday. Ain't got no prayers had right. Sunday is a blind day. Sunday. Sunday.
Good morning, gearheads. It's Sunday, it's the Blind Mike Project, and you know what that means.
Charge!
Make sure you go to blindmike.net for all of Blind Mike's links, including links to all Why Are You Laughing episodes. On today's episode, Brendan Schaub's move to Austin has been, well, something. Also, he might be sued into oblivion. King Azoulay might not be a good person. Steel Toe is out of the clink and a totally new person. Again, I'm sure we'll have some new crazy Liver King update. And that's right, folks. Your favorite closed caption predator-faced comedian is back. That's right. We go through some more of G.D. Fenderson's comedy-adjacent special. And now, your host, the man who discovered the great David Collins. Blind Mike Geary.
Can I hear that Aaron clip again, please? Charge! Thank you. I don't know why. It's my favorite new drop.
Needs to be in everything.
Oh, Aaron. It's symbolic of so many things in that one word.
It really is. Oh, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about some naughty boys today on the list. They're all in legal entanglements. Everyone on our agenda today. So
A lot of retainer fees for our guest today on the Blind Mike Project.
I'm glad. Oh, I want to in the intro, in the countdown part of the intro.
Yeah.
There's a guy. The guy says something like, "Ain't got to bring up." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is he saying?
It's supposed to say ain't no Kragers or HACKRIDE and kind of throws them together.
Okay, because I always thought it was "ain't got to bring up HACKRIDE."
Well, it's like ain't
That's
no
kind of
Kragers
funny,
or HACKRIDE.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
it's not. The song's not about us, is what it's saying, Mike. It's about you.
I appreciate that. I'm glad we could solve that.
Yeah. How you doing? Happy Sunday.
Also, Electra mentioned David Collins in the intro there, and that reminded me. I wanted to plug. David Collins did something very funny.
I loved it.
He's been he was messaging me for a while, trying to do a Drake Sather episode of Why Are You Laughing? And I was, it just never. I'm sure I would have gotten there eventually. I think Drake Sather, he was roommates with Norm Macdonald. Well, you'll find out. Go watch the episode. David does a very good breakdown of it. But maybe I would have gotten to it eventually, but it just never scratched me where I was itching. So I just never got to it. And I guess David Collins got so tired of asking me that he invited Craig on. Didn't tell him what the episode was. It's just a regular episode of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show. Go check it out. And then Craig realized halfway through David was just doing a Why Are You Laughing with him about Drake Sather.
I learned more about Drake Sather in that Craig Akone interview than anything on Why Are You Laughing ever.
It was very well done, because if you're a David Collins fan, you're just watching it. And then I think it was just a joke for me. I don't know if anyone else would even get it, but I appreciated it. So shout out to David Collins. Go check out David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show. Our own Craig Akone was just on, so go check that out.
He wrote Zoolander, Mike. I learned that.
Yes, yeah, he did. Yeah. I don't give everything away. You got to go watch the episode.
That was just a little tease.
I'm trying to think. Anything else before we get started here? I guess go to blindmike.net.
Did Craig do anything wrong? This is usually when we yell at the other producer. Let's do it. He's been good, Mike. God damn him.
Yeah, I can't think of anything, unfortunately.
Love Island. How about that? That's weird, right?
It was a little weird, but a lot of people pushed back on that and said it's a great season, I guess.
Oh, no.
So people are really into it.
Oh, God.
But go to blindmike.net. Support this program wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify. Leave a 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. All that helps more people find the show. Smash the like button right now. If you're watching live, like. Give us a thumbs up. Comment. Do something. Help people find this show. And what's the other thing? Oh, Patreon and YouTube. Become a member for as little as $5 a month, and you get early access and bonus content. We just did a Why You Laughing episode. Speaking of Why You Laughing, we just did one on Harvey Picar and his appearances on the David Letterman program. So go check that out. Harvey Picar is a fascinating guy. Maybe my new favorite talk show guest ever.
Yeah, you've seen the movie, correct? The movie they did on his life.
I've not seen American Splendor. I love Paul Giamatti, so maybe I will. Watch it. Yeah.
Dude, that is gonna. If you like Picar, that is gonna blow your fucking mind, man.
I'll give it a watch. Yeah, because I'm fascinated by him now.
Harvey's in it. Like there are fourth wall scenes where they're just the cast is mixing with the real people, and it feels Howard Sternish. It feels like Whack Packy. It feels fucking amazing. Yeah, it's top. I think top comedy. One of the top like comedies like that ever. So you're gonna love it.
I'm a Giamatti guy, so I'm in.
Yeah.
blindmike.net and go to hackridestudios.com.
Ooh, yes, that would be amazing.
You guys doing a show after this?
We are. We're doing Unboxing Eric. There's a friend of Harvey Picar. I'm stuck on this Picar thing, sorry. His name is Toby Ratcliffe, and he was like MTV's Nerd of the Year, and he's a real nerd. He like Revenge of the Nerd type of nerd. So it's worth it, that movie, just to watch Toby Ratcliffe, who was a guy that tried out for to be a whackpacker with Bigfoot, and Bigfoot won. So that's how it kind of comes back to Stern.
Wow. All right. Yeah. So go check out Harvey Picar.
It's a good show.
Shout out to Harvey.
He's dead.
Let's real quick. Let's do a Liver King update. We talked about the Liver King stalking Joe Rogan, and I mentioned that he immediately broke whatever restraining order he seemed to have the second he got out of jail. And I'm just fascinated by this now, not even from the Joe Rogan angle of it or the arrest angle of it. I'm just fascinated. This guy keeps posting. What'd you say that his last post was 10 hours ago, you said?
10 hours ago of him doing some Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighting in a park.
Yeah, so he got a night's sleep in at least. That's good. He's not already posting this morning, so that's something. But he seemed to be meandering around Austin. He's kind of just hanging out, hoping old Joe Rogan walks by so he can beat him up, I guess. I don't know what he's doing. But this was another post from like yesterday. Like he's still going off like this. Watch this.
Austin, here with my family, fist bump pound, locking it the fuck down, primals. I said I'd make a lot of videos for a week. I've been doing that. And then I said I wouldn't after that. And it hasn't been a week yet, it's been a few days. I've made a lot of videos. I mean what I say and I do what I say too. And then I also have the right to change my mind.
I like that he's even kind of having second thoughts about this. He's like, listen, I said I would post videos and I could change my mind. Maybe I won't post videos anymore. Maybe this is really humiliating. Maybe I'm doing a lot of damage to my family. You know, maybe it should have sunk in when the police dragged me in and America was talking about me being a stalker.
And say that I have a new path and a new plan. And then I have the right after that to do whatever the fuck I want to do with my life. As long as it's good and true and as long as I honor the principles.
And sure, once in a while, I threaten the most famous podcaster in America. Big deal. So what?
3 black belts, who cares? I'm coming to your town.
As long as it's true and pure, whatever that means.
It's primal.
That matter most. I'm oriented, got this compass. I might not make a lot of videos for the next few days. I got...
That would be wise.
Some family matters that matter more to me than the outside world.
You know, like the fact that I was just arrested for attempted murder.
Yeah,
they saw that I brought a gun to Texas and was looking for Joe Rogan.
Families often are not fans of that.
I might make videos, but right now I'm going to give myself permission to release myself the commitment that I stated earlier. I'm going to make a lot of videos for a week. And then after that, I won't. I
That
still
was a little Trump-like what he just did there. He said we're going to make a lot of videos for a week, and I can change my mind if I want to.
am not going to make a lot of videos afterwards, but I might not make a lot of videos for the next few days because I have something that matters more. One word: family. King time, yo, king time.
What a journey he had to go through where he's like, I've decided that my family actually matters more to me than murdering Joe Rogan. That's what I've decided. At age 40 or whatever the fuck he is. He's like, I have no idea how old he is. He's like, I've finally decided that being incarcerated is actually not as good as throwing the ball with my son.
Mike, what if this was a giant ruse just to get a minute on Kill Tony? I'm just saying.
He's
people go through less.
Well, this is what, like, during COVID in particular, like with Joe Rogan, people were yelling about like, oh, you're trusting these people, like, Joe Rogan's not a doctor, you can't trust his medical advice. Or now, like with Dave Smith, it's like, Dave Smith shouldn't be talking about the war. He's a comedian. It's like, let people talk about whatever they want, and if they're nuts, eventually they'll expose themselves. Like, let the Liver King talk about diets or whatever. And if you believe this idiot, that's on you. Let people be adults and make their own decisions. And one day, maybe it'll sink in that if you put things in your body because this guy said to, hopefully this string of videos he's posting will be a come to Jesus moment where you're like, what have I done with my life? Why was I trusting this man? Trust whoever you want on the internet. And if they turn out to be a fucking retard, it's on you.
I ate so many balls because of this guy. That's what some
I
of
was
them are
just
saying.
eating raw meat.
Mike, I don't usually go to the free chat this early in the show, but this one was worth mentioning. From one Skinny Chad, I'm like an hour and a half away from this guy. Should I reach out and talk to him, psycho to psycho? I thought that was...
Skinny Chad, I appreciate you being on watch, but
Yeah.
I think let this run dissolve of its own momentum. You know, let Liver King fizzle out on his own.
How many balls have you eaten, Skinny Chad? We have one super chat here, Mike, from Hamilton Burger, Canadian $2. I don't know if that spends here still, but the fighter and the kid, Schaub plus Liver King for the win.
Well, let's get right there. I guess let's talk about Brendan Schaub because he may be in some hot water. The Austin move doesn't seem to be going super well. I would have said if they asked my advice, and unfortunately they didn't. But if the fighter and the kid came to me and said, Mike, how should we approach this? I would say maybe don't oversell the Austin move and then have one of you go on vacation for a month. Maybe
that's not good.
Maybe don't hype up. By the way, it would never matter. The location of the podcast, who gives a shit? So, like, you don't have to hype up, we're moving to Austin, then do a special episode. We're in Austin now, bitches. And then Callan leaves, and it's Brendan and Mike Catherwood, whoever that is, for a week.
Oh, good old Mike. Yeah,
that's a bit of a mistake. Are we starting with those clips before we get to the lawsuit?
Correct. Yeah. So this is from the fighter and the kid, episode 1098. It's called "Beating People."
Yeah. So Mike Catherwood was on. I guess he replaced Adam Carolla on Love Lines. I don't even know if I knew Love Lines continued after Carolla, but. I guess Mike Catherwood was on there, and he's done stuff for like Entertainment Tonight, and in this episode he references Kevin and Bean. I guess he had some affiliation with them. So I don't know. He's made his rounds in the entertainment business, and Catherwood is filling in for Brian Callen here, and they get into how comedy should be handled. I've always felt.
Brant, big dog.
I gotta ask you a question. I've actually I've had the same conversation with Tim.
Tim Dillon?
You're not
no
someone who I don't think like you sit around thinking I would love to hurt someone right now.
Never.
You're not, but your capacity, and Tim is the same way. And I rolled and done all combat sports with Tim, and it's it's a thing.
He's a monster.
But your capacity to fuck people up is very high.
Yeah.
Very high. Tim's is very high. And so there has to be situations a lot of situations in life where you're like, I don't know what you think you're getting into, but the reason I asked,
there also has to be a point if you're going to do other things in life. There also has to be a point where Brendan has to stop talking about that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Brendan could rip our heads from our body, a very strong man. Mm-hmm. There has to be a point if you want to be a comedian or a podcaster or whatever the fuck Brendan is. There has to be a point where like the people around you stop sucking your dick for how strong you are. At some point, you have to be a human being that they can relate to, not just a monster that they're afraid of.
I don't have a very high capacity to hurt Earth. The people of Earth. But the other day, my daughter has male friends, the male buddies, and they
How old is she?
She's 11, but the oldest kid was like 8th grade, like 13, 14, like
freshman. Good. Perfect age to beat the shit out of him.
Where are we going with this?
And then
listen, my daughter's 11, but the guy she's dating is 13, so I can beat him up, right?
Jesus Christ.
Go back a little bit, because Brendan also says something here I find interesting.
My daughter has male friends, the male buddies, and
How old is she?
She's 11, but the oldest kid was like 8th grade, like 13, 14, like freshman.
Old enough.
And then
old enough for what?
I don't want to know.
Where the fuck is this going? Okay, old enough to have his ass beat if he kisses your daughter.
Uh-oh. Dangerous roads.
The youngest of the group was probably like in the 9 ballpark. A collection of brothers and their male friends.
Yeah.
Is the 9-year-old old enough, Brendan? For a fucking ass whooping?
Well, how's their ear look? Do they got cauliflower ear yet? That all bets are off if they got cauliflower.
Okay, so this started. Let's track this conversation. Hey, Brendan, you have a real capability of hurting people. So these 11-year-olds were at my house the other day. What do you think I should do about them?
They're good kids and all, but I was driving around. We went to the water park, Typhoon, Texas, here in Texas, and we're having a great time and everything. And they start getting lippy.
With you?
I mean, in the back of my, but they're little boys. They're especially the 14-year-old. They're like, yeah, well, I'll show you I'll fuck you up. And I was like, and I
what the fuck? This guy's just getting bullied by children. Hey, I'm about to fuck your daughter. Now, fellas, come on. Let's be reasonable here.
I pulled the car over. And I was like,
hold up.
You're having a good time. This is fun. I was like, I wouldn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, dude.
I would smash the fuck. All of you in the car, everyone in this car,
I'm so down
all
for
versus me, I would destroy you. Just so we know. Let's have some fun here. But let's get that. I wonder, does that happen to you with adults, especially in the comedy world?
Never.
No?
It should only happen with adults. I don't care how strong Brendan is.
What a question. What a lead up to a question.
Listen, I had to tell these 11-year-olds I could beat the shit out of them if I wanted to. Does that ever happen to adults? How fucking old is this man?
I don't know if that's a crazy question or a genius question to get in Brendan's brain so he understands it. You know,
these 13-year-olds were threatening me, and I was like, hey, I could beat you up. Very intimidating.
I'll steal your bike.
You got to be like, I know we're having fun here.
Never. In comedy, it got because I was always like trying to like dole down my parents and how I could fight, so I never brought that side out. Yeah. But then it became
tight
I was like
t-shirts and jeans usually really did that. I tried to dull down that I could fight. Your podcast is called The Fighter and the Kid. It's the second word, Brendan.
Well, it's dull. It's not the first.
After the. It's really the first word in the podcast title is fighter. And he's like, yeah, I tried to kind of hide the fact that I'm a fighter. It's
Mike, what is
in the name?
What's the fourth word in that? Or what's the second thing? It's a kid. His brand is fighting children. I'm just saying.
Mike Catherwood misunderstands the title. He's like, so I've been fighting kids lately.
Yes.
I thought I could co-host. Yeah.
Is that not what we do here?
Just a stomping pad. Yeah. Oh, Schaub doesn't care. Yeah. You can fire away, man. You can say whatever you want. And then I went so far where I was like, man, if I return to that scene and I get in that environment where I'm at now mentally, it's like, I'll fuck them up.
Yeah.
That's what I took myself.
Whoa. Hold on. Go back. So people paid Brendan a high compliment and said, hey, Brendan doesn't care. You can say whatever you want to him. Water off a duck's back. See, Brendan's terrific. And Brendan's response is, man, if I ever go back there, I'll beat the fuck out of them.
I'll murder every one of them.
Brendan, do you ever think this attitude might be why you weren't successful in stand-up? Like, oh, people made fun of me, so I want to beat them up now. I want to prove
Also-
how strong I am.
Also might be why some of them aren't taking your calls. They know a return is like, oh, he's going to come back and beat us up? No, I'm just going to ignore that call.
But also, every time I've heard, not every time, but a majority of the times I've heard comedians goof on Schaub, they also acknowledge that if they were in a room with him, he could throttle them. No one's not aware of that. Like, everyone's aware of that with Brendan, and it's actually part of the joke. It's like, oh, people are intimidated by him, so they actually don't make fun of him as much as maybe they should. Brendan has such an interesting career to me, and it's, you guys have heard me talk. It's always bugged me that has no impact on him. Where Brendan is, I don't think this is hyperbolic to say, the most goofed on man in comedy history, I think. Just because we live in a time where there's content about content about content, like that. There's reaction shows like we do and all that. So I don't think there's ever been a time where a comedian has been goofed on as much as Brendan Schaub has, with subreddits dedicated to him and other comedians making fun of him and reaction channels and all that. That's such a unique perspective to be like the one guy in history who has dealt with that. And Brendan has been able to do literally nothing with it, other than pretend he's okay with it constantly. Like, he constantly is like, "Oh, I'm over that. I used to overreact to it, and now I don't." But he's never been able to like look inward and talk about it on stage. That could be an amazing special, him talking about that, but he just doesn't have that ability. And what's frustrating about Brendan is he can never make that connection of like, "Oh, I'm incapable of turning that into an hour of comedy." You know, if Tim Dillon was in Brendan's position, or Shane, or Nate Bargatze, or whoever, they would be able to make an hour of magic out of it. But Brendan just doesn't have that in him, and it's amazing he's never been able to say it. He's like, no, if I go to the Comedy Store, I would beat the shit out of people because they've made jokes about me.
I was trying to think of a close second, and maybe Carlos Mencia, but like Tom Myers. Tom Myers is
no, but Tom Myers, that's a niche. Like, Brendan Schaub has been made fun of at all levels of comedy, like from the Joe Rogan Experience on down. Brendan has been mocked
to a cartoon on the internet. Yes,
right.
It's a wide gap.
Man, if I return to that scene and I get in that environment where I'm at now.
Sorry, go back a little bit because I want to hear what he's reacting to there. Where people are like, "Man, Brendan can really take a joke, and that has driven him to violence."
Would you consider Stut Joe a comedian, and would you put Stut Joe up against?
No, again, no. The Dabbleverse is smaller than the community.
Oh, of course.
The homeless cats reach far and wide.
They do.
My parents and how I could fight, so I never brought that side out. But then it became I was like just a stomping pad. Yeah. Oh, Schaub doesn't care. Yeah. You can fire away, man. You can say whatever you want.
That's a great quality, Brendan. Hey, this guy doesn't care. It was Dave Cullinane left Kirk's show the other day, and Kirk said, best producer, always funny, but he said best producer at like taking a joke. That's such an extreme compliment. Like, that's something I envy about Dave. Like, I wish I had that quality where you could just insult him. It doesn't faze him. It doesn't seem like he thinks about it when he goes home. That's a tremendous quality. And evidently, in Brendan's memory, I don't really believe that this happened, but in Brendan's recollection of things, people were like, Brendan Schaub, say whatever you want about him. This guy, man, he can take a beating like no other. And let's hear how Brendan reacts to that.
Far where I was like, man, if I return to that scene and I get in that environment where I'm at now mentally, it's like, I'll fuck them up.
Yeah.
So I took myself out of it.
This is what got you in trouble last time, dickhead. You and Brian Cowan on the phone with 5'2" Bobby Lee, threatening to beat him up if he didn't somehow stop the trolls on Reddit. This is what got you in trouble last time. Threatening comedians. They're all pussies. Yes, we're like podcasters as well. We're all when I hear like guys like Kevin Brennan and like, oh, he's a bitch, he's a pussy. We all are. We're not fighters, Brendan. You've got that on us. But you should take some solace in just knowing that and not have to flex every time someone makes fun of you. You're actually the worst at taking a joke, as you're proving here, because you want to beat people up for it.
That makes sense.
It's
but,
right.
But also my son, like, I'm his dad. So it's all, you don't know what he's talking about. It's whatever.
Yeah.
And he was getting lippy with me. And I was like, oh, dude, I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Why are we back to beating up
Oh,
children?
really? Because he was getting a little arrogant. And I was like, I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna hit you hard. But
For clarity, if anyone's wondering, Tiger Schaub is 9. He was getting arrogant.
His name's Tiger.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that
You
won't
wanna-
do. That's not undue pressure in and of itself. Never mind your dad constantly going on podcasts being like, if he doesn't make it in baseball, I might disown the kid.
Yeah, we got another baby Gronk incoming here.
dude. Yeah. And I said something. I was like, if you do this, you can do that. He's like, cool, man. And he's like, legit in his mind thought he could fuck me up. And I was like, go, dude.
I
You can
doubt
throw
it.
us-
I doubt what was running through a 9-year-old's mind is, I'll fuck this little bitch up. I mean, yeah, sure, he was ranked top 10 in the world, but it was before the UFC was really anything,
What's scary is that's going through Brendan's mind. So is he gonna get defensive? I better fight this kid.
I mean, I hate to bring up Chris Benoit, but with some of these guys, that have CTE, you worry if they feel challenged, what might happen.
No, this is gonna end horrible.
as hard as you want. I'm going to be at 10%.
He's fighting his kid now at 10%. That story continues, by the way. Like, it goes on where Brendan's proving to us and Mike Catherwood that he could beat up a 9-year-old. And Mike is like, oh, Brendan, I could beat up 13-year-olds. Isn't that impressive?
Some 13-year-old out there right now just minding their own business is going to get his ass kicked by Brendan Schaub's kid because of what Brendan Schaub is doing today. He did nothing to you, Brendan.
But that to me is just so... I tried for a little while to become a Schaub fan. I tried
Saw
to,
the hat.
I've still got it here. I wear it sometimes. But like, I wanted to like Brendan because I thought there was something in him where he could be a lovable punching bag if he just saw that. And I even thought maybe the whole Kalila situation, like the humbling of that horror show that became of that, I thought maybe he'd come out of that with some humility and like be a, not a good comedian, but like a good punching bag on a podcast or something. And he's gone the opposite way. If this Austin move has changed him back into like, oh, fuck all these people. I think for a little while he realized when he was doing like Skankfest, I think he realized, oh, maybe there's something to, like he did Jeremiah Watkins' show and people yelled out Reddit as a subject. And he's like, oh, those guys are so mean to me. And it was like, that's funny. Like, that's interesting to just be vulnerable for a second and be like, yeah, it made me sad that those guys were mean to me. Like, that's interesting from a guy like Brendan. You don't see that all the time. But then he puts on this facade of like, oh, well, I can beat people up, so none of it matters to me.
Mike, I think what we're learning here is that humble punching bags are few and far between. Like, if you're going to be a punching bag, that's why you got to give it up for like people. Yeah, Krager's is a humble punching bag.
Yes.
He takes it.
Yeah, say what you want about Craig. We make the man. I've exposed some of the monstrous things he's done online. Like, there's just a record of that. I don't even want to go into the litany of horrors that this man has done unto children and adults alike. But he takes it in stride. He's like, yes, I have done all those things, and I've learned from them.
Sorry, Krager, I didn't. Yeah. Self-awareness is the next clip. We'll move on. Fast,
Brendan's got a lot of it, I'm sure. This is the clip where Brendan finally reaches self-awareness.
One of the things that I think a lot of people in the internet sphere get very critical about you is they'll be like, there's no self-awareness. And I couldn't disagree. I think no one none of my friends in the entertainment industry, especially in the like digital space, are more self-aware than you are.
Correct.
Because you
Hold on. He's funny. He's a comedian. I get it.
The most self-aware man on the planet. Mike, take a look at Gringo Poppy, if you could. We'll get into some of Brendan's self-awareness. Podcast Cringe exposed a lot of the self-awareness that Brendan has. But even like those specials got goofed on. You'd be surprised, and Gringo Poppy, as I said earlier, got goofed on maybe more than anyone in the history of comedy. And Brendan couldn't do anything with that other than sue a YouTuber who made fun of him. Poor fucking Unique is still fighting litigation because Brendan Schaub couldn't take a joke. The idea of self-awareness. He's a comedian that couldn't make fun of himself, Mike. What the fuck?
No, he's humble. He's humble.
You have the most, like, I mean, I've heard of hyperbole, but the most self-awareness, Mike Catherwood says. Like, you couldn't just put him in the top 10.
Yeah, there we go. It's a humble lawsuit, Mike. It's not. Yeah. It's not shit flashy.
Struggle with the idea of like, I'm going to be in the space of like influencer / comedian / this and that, where I'm buff and used to fight in cages.
Yeah.
And have
I'm humble. I'm a Renaissance man. I'm going to be a podcaster, a comedian, a car guy, a food guy. I'm going to have all these. That's what self-awareness is. It's dipping your finger into every pie available to you.
And I'm handsome, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be so hard to do that and not. It's so hard to kind of express to people who aren't in this world. There's a reason why.
Here's what's happening. Us civilians don't get it. I didn't realize that. Us civilians can't fathom what it's like to be Brendan Schaub. It's like, no, sadly. Now we can. Like, Brendan was in a pretty cool position, and he's done everything to diminish all of that.
This is some A+ level ball washing coming up.
I mean, this is great. Like, by the way, Brendan, in total fairness to Brendan, he didn't make this guy do this. Mike Catherwood came on and just goes, what people don't do is jerk you off enough. So pull him down, Brendan. Let me start stroking.
Yeah, let me get on my knees here for this interview and live.
A lot of comedians are kind of like nebbishy, like the hoodie and the ill-fitting clothes, and it's like, because that fits what people understand, and it also makes it easier for people to kind of connect with them on stage. Yep. And same with broadcast, same with radio.
Dice, Dane Cook, Anthony Jeselnik. Yeah, there's never been an arrogant or cocky comedian before that's been successful. You're absolutely right, Mike.
Yeah, every comedian I've ever seen looks like the Unabomber on stage. They just huddle in the corner.
I mean, that is a stereotype. Like, comedians are usually like awkward, weird people off stage that, like, because of that, they had to develop a personality. Like, you had to develop humor because you lacked some of those other traits. But this idea of that Brendan was the first handsome man in comedy, I think, like, Matt Rife's doing all right, Say what you want about Matt Rife's comedy. He's figured it out. He found an audience. And you know what? People are pretty critical of Matt Rife. People for a couple of years now have been saying Matt Rife's not funny. All he does is crowd work. But girls just like him because he's handsome. He's not a real comedian. And you know what Matt Rife has done? Not really given a fuck and cashed those checks. Mm-hmm. Brendan couldn't do that. Matt Rife doesn't have lawsuits with people. Somehow he's overcome being handsome and was able to still make a career somehow. This idea that, like, Mike Catherwood is talking to Brendan like he's disabled. Like he's a guy in a wheelchair who climbed Mount Everest. No, he's a guy who's moderately handsome and sucked at comedy. That's not a disability. That's not a thing you have to overcome.
That's my tagline. Moderately handsome, suck at comedy.
Yo, guys. And when someone comes along, and you could say what you want about fucking Dane Cook or these guys or D'Elia,
Matt Rife.
But
I got news for you. D'Elia is an infinitely better comedian than Brendan Schaub. And I hate D'Elia's comedy. I think he's just not for me. But if you watch Chris D'Elia, he's at least a comedian. It's not even close, the level that D'Elia is on versus Brendan Schaub. It's light years away. And it pains me to say that because I'm not a D'Elia fan at all. But it's just a different... Brendan's not a comedian. It didn't work out for him. It's fine. We don't have to make these excuses of like, well, your clothes are too nice. That's why no one was laughing.
Right. A lot of it is just like you're fucking swimming uphill when you don't fit that mold.
Yep.
And since day one...
Well, what about the guys how about D'Elia, who sells out a 3,000-seat venue and he's here in Boston? How about Matt Rife, who I think does a 5,000-seat venue when he's here in Boston? The guys you just named have had no problem with that. It's like, yeah, Matt Rife, Chris D'Elia, you guys just can't have careers because you're too handsome.
You and fucking Callan were just piecing together the idea of doing a podcast. You're living in a fucking, I remember you were living in a condo in Marina Del Rey, and you just got your first Beamer, like that. You were just getting like on your baller car and like it. And you're like, yeah, dude, I don't care. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it's like, it'll be rough. It'll be, because like, look at my jeans. And I'm looking at buying this Porsche. And you're like, this is going to be rough for me.
Oh yeah.
And, but
I
you
expect it.
were
I expect this
so,
shit
you
show.
never once were like,
This
I
is
don't even understand.
incredible. This is what his jeans and his car were nice. What hurdles to overcome?
Marina Del Rey is a very nice place to live. I got that part of the story.
They're talking about Brendan like you're just a guy who came from nothing with a Porsche and $200 jeans. And look at what you've built.
Understand
Oh, no.
why people are talking. You're like,
I
look
get
at my
it.
jeans.
I've got it from day one.
Look at my,
I get it.
you know,
I
like-
get it. I get
And
it.
so anyway, that's
don't
something.
get
And,
it. That's what this is proving. I tried, Brendan. I tried to pump your tires, and you just do shit like this. It's infuriating.
Mike, watching this, I realize I'm not doing enough ball washing of you. Make sure you go to blindmike.net, people. It's amazing. Charge.
It is amazing what I've overcome. It's incredible.
Charge. Get over there.
Thank you.
Next one is the next day's show, or whenever they do the show. Fight on the Kid, 1099, defending Schaub.
Yeah, so Mike Catherwood goes to the Fighter and the Kid subreddit, that's a great place to go if you're doing show prep for the actual Fighter and the Kid. You should check out what PF Chang's is up to. So Mike Catherwood goes on there and he's like, "Whoa, some of these comments, they don't seem to like you all that much." He's shocked by it, so he wants to clarify some of the things he said in the previous episode.
I get it. And people are like, oh, this is bullshit. But nah, man, it's like me. Like, you know, like podcasting is my platform. That's my baby. That's what pays the bills, you know, to some degree. But I have a lot of other interests, man. And I'm getting older. I like to do
we'll
other
get to those interests, Brendan. Don't you worry.
shit.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, now you're into trucks? Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's what I want to fucking do. Yeah. I'm 42. I do where the fuck
By the
I
way,
want.
again, I took some plaque and everything, but
I'm not
stuck
some
up for the-
11-year-old getting beat up by Mike Catherwood. I'm a
I
grown
like
man.
trucks. I like trucks.
I'm 42. I like things that go vroom.
Man, I don't. It's America. If you want to criticize Mr. Schaub or whatever comedian or podcast,
This
it's
guy
your business.
is the biggest. Who is this asshole?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure out who he looks like. It's like a little Latino Hal Sparks, a little bit.
If you want to criticize this is a good man, Mr. Schaub. If you want to criticize this man, so be it. But remember, he's handsome. He's got nice jeans and a sweet car.
And his cock tastes like cherry soda. What? Did I say that?
business. But I get pissy when it's totally baseless, and I go, and I know the real truth. And I went on a rant about people talking about your lack of self-awareness. I go, that's not true. If you want to criticize Brendan, that's your business. Don't talk about lack of self-awareness. I know.
Well,
the
I've
reality.
done it. What's the penalty, Mike? Are you going to beat me up now? Like one of these kids?
A lot of businesses built on criticizing Brendan Schaub.
I like the idea of him making the rules for P.F. Chang's. He's like, listen, say what you want about Brendan Schaub. You're going to talk about self-awareness. The one thing that a lack of self-awareness is what he puts on display weekly. That's the one thing we're not allowed to criticize. What else is on the list, Mike? You listen, criticize Brendan Schaub all you want. Just don't talk about his self-awareness, his comedy specials, his podcasting ability. Those three are off the table. Other than that, make fun of the man. If you want to criticize his looks or his clothing, that's fine. But just not his self-awareness.
I'm interested in this Catherwood now. I need to see him. Does he ball wash on all shows? Is he just like a professional ball washer that goes on shows like Coach HP and kind of balls wash? I need to know.
I mean, to be fair, like, it seems like they've known each other for a long time. So maybe he's just a good friend. But it is bizarre to come on and be like, hey, this guy that presents himself to you. We're not in Brendan's house. Brendan turns on the cameras and presents this stuff to us twice a week on Fighter and the Kid. He says, hey, you guys consume this and digest it however you like. Take it in whatever way you're able to consume it. And Mike says, hey, the one thing you're not allowed to do is have an opinion on this man. Well, then don't do a podcast if we can't have an opinion on it.
Here's another thing. If you're going to be like, oh, you're into trucks now, shut up. Brendan is the biggest fucking car geek.
Yeah,
To an
shut
annoying
up. Shut your fucking mouths. All of you, stop making fun of my friend.
He has trucks, I swear. I seen him.
I like the idea. So the Fighter and the Kid subreddit, I'm going to guess, has been up for 8 years, give or take, maybe 10 at this point, maybe a decade. And now Mike Catherwood is coming to lay down the law. And he's like, listen, make fun of the guy all you want. Don't make fun of his self-awareness. And I will be goddamned if you're going to say he's not a truck guy. Stop it. Stop saying he's not a truck guy. I'm sure all the homeless cats are going to go, oh, geez, okay, I'm so sorry. Why does it hurt Brendan's feelings? I didn't realize that. We'll lay off the car stuff. I'm sorry.
Mike laid the Catherwood down on the homeless cat's tail.
And has been since 2004, since I ever met you.
It's just, I have the freedom where everything's kind of at cruise control and I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, this is good. I can go over there, man. I do whatever the fuck I want.
Over here now.
Do whatever I want. That seems to be the problem.
Yeah, he's done that. And that's what Podcast Cringe taught us with this new lawsuit. So I will do the same as Podcast Cringe started his video with. To be clear, I have no idea. Brendan has not had a chance to respond to this lawsuit. I have no idea what of it is true and what isn't. These are all just allegations. And these are evidently parts of a lawsuit that Podcast Cringe got his hands on. Go check out Podcast Cringe. And he started a new channel, Podcast Cringe Bites, for shorter videos. But he did a real deep dive into this lawsuit. Like I said, Brendan hasn't had a chance to respond yet. Who knows what's real? But there are some interesting allegations happening here.
All right. And I got some super chats, Mike. We'll get to those. And then let me know where you want to go next. We can keep with the Schaub, or we can go to King Azoulay.
Yeah, we could go to the thing I just set up.
God damn, I was...
Literally the thing I just described. I explained what it was. I said Podcast Cringe did a very good job with it.
I heard it.
Breaking it all down. Hey, there's a lawsuit happening.
There
what
it
are
is right
some
there.
of the charges in the lawsuit? And then you go, what do you want to do next? How about we hear about the lawsuit?
It's called Pure Spectrum, this first one.
Yeah, so Pure Spectrum is a CD company that Brendan was advertising, and he had 10% ownership of. And I forget if Podcast Cringe explains the setup here, but basically someone approached Brendan, said, we just want your name attached and go promote us on podcasts and all that kind of stuff. And here's a little more about what's happening with this Pure Spectrum deal.
So here's where it all starts to unravel, and honestly, it wouldn't be a true Brendan Schaub story without some world-class self-sabotage. After getting his 10% stake in Pure Spectrum, Brendan allegedly does what Brendan does best. Absolutely fuck all. The lawsuit spells it out clear as day. Brendan missed every single required social media post. For those keeping score at home, that's 88 out of 88 missed posts. He skipped promotional events. He failed to honor his contractual obligations. Meanwhile, get this, he still managed to collect over 370 grand in commissions from Pure Spectrum.
Yeah, was that even really necessary? Like, if you sign a contract with someone and they give you 10% of the company and say, all we need you to do is post on social media and go to certain events, and then you just don't do any of them, is that like a big deal?
Not good.
I don't know if that's a problem or not.
I mean, if you ever want another company, it's a bad, you can
It's
do it
weird.
once, Mike.
It's weird because there are clips of Brendan, like Podcast Cringe plays a clip of Brendan with Rick Glassman, where he's trying to get him on this Pure Spectrum CBD. And so like he's talking about it on various podcasts. And Brendan always talks about, like, he's like, listen, the podcast isn't as successful as it used to be, but I have other streams of revenue. I'm a businessman. I have all my, he mentions the amount of businesses he has ownership in. And I forget the number. But he's like, I'm owner and on the board of all these businesses. Come to find out with Pure Spectrum, he didn't have to put any money in. They came to him and said, here's 10% of the company. Just go promote it everywhere, which is a smart move in theory for a company to do that with Theo Vaughn or Andrew Schultz, or, you know what I mean? Like a guy like that. Brendan is just not a personality that people want to follow. They don't want to be like, hey, Brendan's on Pure Spectrum CBD. I should be on Pure Spectrum. Like it was just misguided in terms of who they chose, but it's not a terrible idea. Like the idea of Shane Gillis being the face of Bud Light. You know what I mean? Like that's a smart move by them. So they had good intentions, Pure Spectrum, but I think they just chose the wrong guy here, it seems.
Yeah, you don't look at Brendan Schaub and go, I'll have what he's having. This next one is called Gringo Poppy. Something you might have heard of, Mike.
Okay, so I hate to cast aspersions on podcast cringe. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong here, but he mentions Showtime, and then he says the special he's talking about is Gringo Poppy. It might be, you'd be surprised, was the special that was on Showtime. So I don't know if there's some, but based on the dates, it probably would be Gringo Poppy. So it's a little confusing, but it's either You'd Be Surprised, that's where we met Mr. Schaub, and Gringo Poppy, one of his two specials. They weren't doing the numbers Brendan wanted. So Brendan said, hey, I own a company. Maybe I could step in and pull some fancy maneuvering here.
This lawsuit contains possibly the funniest sentence I've ever read in a legal filing. On multiple occasions in 2019 and 2020, Mr. Schaub solicited plaintiff to send mass emails using Pure Spectrum's customer database to promote defendants' unrelated comedy specials to help boost poor ratings on Showtime and IM.
Yeah, 2019, 2020, it is You'd Be Surprised. Someone correct podcast cringe. Let him know.
Get over there. After the show, obviously, and unboxing.
DB. Let that sink in for a second. People are signing up to Pure Spectrum's mailing list because they want CBD products. They're dealing with anxiety, pain, sleeplessness, and Brendan allegedly tries to hijack the database to spam them with ads for Gringo Puppy.
So Brendan, allegedly, Brendan was going in and saying, hey, I own 10% of this company. That means I can do it for whatever I want. It would be like if, it wouldn't be like this because Mark Zuckerberg actually does own the company, or did own the company. But like, it would be like if Mark Zuckerberg used the Facebook database to promote his jiu-jitsu fights. Like, hey, come down, watch Mark Zuckerberg. It's a hell of a time. That's not what you do as the owner of a company or the part owner, Brendan. You don't get to just go into their database, hack everyone's email, and be like, hey, watch this terrible Showtime special.
He U2'd us, or U2'd him. You know how U2 ended up on that Apple phone on everyone's.
But at least U2 got the song on everyone's fucking iPod.
Yeah, that's true.
Brendan just pestered us with emails.
Negative consequences.
So this is where it starts to get a little hairy for Brendan.
From the lawsuit, defendants' misuse of company assets for personal gain resulted in negative consequences, including threats from Showtime and IMDb for improper promotional activities. After receiving threats from Showtime, Mr. Schaub acted like he didn't know about the promotional campaign, leaving plaintiff with Brendan's dirt on his hands. That is peak Brendan Schaub. Initiate the scam, fumble the execution, blame everyone else, retreat to Joe Rogan's bunker.
If Brendan just did less, like he talks about how hard he works all the time, and I believe that. Stop working so hard, Brendan. Like if he just did if he didn't sue Unique, like if he didn't sue that YouTuber, if he didn't sneak in and email people to watch his special, allegedly, like if he just did less, if he didn't confront Kalila and threaten Bobby Lee with that stupid Reddit horse shit, he would look so much better. Just do less, Brendan. Save your energy.
Non-compete is the next one.
Okay, so this is where there's a real, but it seems like this is where the real legal issue kind of comes in, is Brendan gets out of the deal, and then there's some murkiness with how he parted ways with this company.
The lawsuit claims that after months of skipped promos, failed appearances, and illegal marketing tactics, Brendan finally agrees to part ways with Pure Spectrum, but not before allegedly pocketing nearly $400,000 for doing, quite literally, less than nothing. The terms of the deal were pretty straightforward. Brendan signs a dissolution agreement giving up his entire 10% stake in Pure Spectrum. He agrees to a 12-month non-compete, meaning he can't promote or partner with any rival CBD company during that time. Everyone walks away with less brain cells than when they started. Simple, right? But this is Bupper we're talking about. If there's one thing Brendan loves more than abusing PEDs, it's violating contracts he never fully understood in the first place. Because not even 2 months after signing the non-compete, Brendan allegedly turns around and starts publicly promoting Direct Hemp, a competitor of Pure Spectrum, founded by co-defendant Daniel Herder, one of the masterminds behind what allegedly happens next.
It's 2 months. That's enough time, right? What's the big deal? You let it breathe for a minute.
60 full days, man. Come on.
Come on, that's
Brendan
plenty
wait?
of time.
He can only be humble for so long, you know?
Yeah, and that's also where, like, just from an optics perspective, the idea that Brendan was hawking this pure spectrum everywhere, and I even like there's a clip that Podcast Cringe played where he's like, "Oh no, pure spectrum is the best there is." Like he's putting his name behind this product, and then 2 months later he's hawking a different CBD. It's like, well, how do we even trust you? You said you owned this cut, like this was your baby, according to you. That's why that Brendan goes too big with this stuff. Where like he could just say like, I'm a part owner. It seems like a pretty cool project. And says he talks about it like it was his creation. Mm-hmm. And then 2 months later, when he hops on some new train, you're just like, well, what about the other thing you were telling us was the best in the world? You know?
He's a man that's in love with the announcement of the thing, not the thing itself.
Yeah, and people do that all the time. People change advertiser. Like, you know, Talkspace has been a sponsor of Kill Tony forever. If one day they dropped him and he moved to BetterHelp and BetterHelp sponsored Kill Tony, who gives a shit? I wouldn't be like, hey, you're a fraud. It's just a different company paying him money. But the difference there is Tony doesn't say like, I created Talkspace. This is my baby. Yeah. It's like, why do that to yourself? Why put yourself in that position?
Last one here is hostile takeover.
Yeah. So now people want to take over the company and they need Brendan's 10% to do it. Brendan sold his 10%. It doesn't exist anymore. But according to this lawsuit, that doesn't stop Papa.
August 2021. According to the lawsuit, Pure Spectrum insiders and investors are plotting a hostile takeover of the company. The plan: push Brady Bell out of his business, take control, and in classic podcast industry fashion, glaze over the details later. But they have one problem. They need Brendan's help to pull it off. Even though he signed away his ownership, they allegedly approached Bupper with a deal. Hey, Brendan, we know you technically gave up your stake, but how about you lie on some documents, pretend you still own 9.3% of Pure Spectrum, and help us vote Brady out? We'll throw in $100,000 for your trouble. Now, if there's one thing Brendan loves more than scorpion milk, it's easy money with zero accountability. The lawsuit claims he took the deal faster than Theo Von distanced himself from The Fighter and the Kid, signed the false declaration, claimed he still owned part of the company, and helped oust Brady Bell from Pure Spectrum entirely. All for a cool $100K.
That part I don't even know. I don't know if I even believe that. Like, I'm sure that's what's in the lawsuit and what they're alleging and everything. Is that even possible that he could have done that?
I mean, it's possible they could have been put through, but if I'm on the other side of that thing, that the hostile takeover that I didn't want to happen, well, there's some pretty good evidence that there was some shady shenanigans going
How do
on.
you sell part of a company you don't own? How would he do that? How would that get passed?
Well, the lie must be like, my guess would be like predating a document. So he sold the shares, but he's going to sign this document and predate it to when he had the shares, which also could be a federal crime. So congratulations, Bob.
You know, Brendan might be like, according to Podcast Cringe, if all this stuff is true, but Brendan might be in like legitimate trouble, like facing felonies and shit.
You cannot do that.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know what's true in that lawsuit. Podcast Cringe said the same. Who knows? Brendan hasn't had a chance to respond yet. Podcast Cringe said it's possible Brendan is hearing about it from him for the first time. Like he might hop on YouTube and be hearing of that for the first time. So
it's like an NBA player hearing about their trade on ESPN. Oh no, I'm going to Cleveland.
Well, so here's what I would say to Brendan is it's great to be this guy that has all these balls in the air. Hey, I'm a podcaster, I'm a comedian, I'm a car guy, I own these businesses, I'm a pitch man, I'm all these things, if you're capable of it. And Brendan looks at a guy like Joe Rogan who has all these interests. Like Joe Rogan is really into and can speak with like extensive knowledge on jiu-jitsu, comedy, elk hunting, space, history. You know what I mean? Like Joe Rogan has all these like real interests that say what you want about the guy. He can talk to experts and not sound like a complete buffoon.
trucks.
Brendan wants to be that so badly. The problem is just running in head first and being like, I'm just going to do it. I don't care if I'm qualified for it or not. I'm just going to be a businessman and a truck guy. And you try and do all this stuff and you're not capable of it. Get good at one thing, Brendan. Hone one thing instead of trying to be this Renaissance man. It's crazy.
You say he's not a good businessman, Mike, but he just made 100,000 cool for changing a date on a document. That is easy money.
That is impressive. If I could get $100,000 for a company I didn't own anything in, that I would try and do it. But unfortunately, I might be facing some legal ramifications. I suppose.
In his head, he's like, all I got to do is sign and change that number.
Deal.
100,000. Deal.
Done. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100,000 for something I don't own. Cool. I'm in. Absolutely.
I'm in. Exactly. All right, some super chats here, Mike. Don Fried Chicken, $4.99. Don't know if Craig mentioned it, but he can't make it because he's doing photography for a child beauty pageant. Oh, no.
Oh, good. Good for Craig. I'm glad he's moonlighting.
Hamilton Burger, another Canadian $2. More goofed on than Stut Joe. There's no Shaubiverse. There is, though. It's called the...
You're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong.
Enormous.
The homeless cats, baby.
Yeah. They were more creative than the
P.F. Chang's.
Yeah. And I sent you another one, which is pretty good too. There's thousands of them. Getty Van Halen, $5. Brendan's cauliflower ears prevent him from hearing what everyone is saying. Hey,
Just a little self-awareness. I've been begging for it, and I've realized the error in my ways. I was wrong. I thought Schaub could be saved, and I was wrong. I just didn't have the manpower. I'm only one guy, you know.
You are. You know how Harvey Milk's murder had like that sugar defense? I wonder if we'll ever have the Brendan Schaub ear defense, where my ears are closed because of the cauliflower. I just didn't hear what they're saying. I thought this thing was, I get another 100,000 for the 9% that I already owned.
Possibly.
The ear defense. Suburban Tug Time, $3.11. Schaub Mob Baby.
Schaub Mob, brother.
Yeah, I think you're off. I think you're off the train. But
yeah, it seems so.
Merch Mouse at $1.99. Brendan is aware of just how awesome he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, aware of being sick.
Getty Van Halen, another $5. Who's more sensitive, Schaub or Portnoy?
Schaub for sure. Portnoy will react harshly, but he's not going to sue. He's not going to sue me or Mick for. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you might yell and scream, but like Brendan Schaub literally brought a mush-mouthed guy from Rhode Island to court. It's still going on, by the way, that lawsuit.
Really?
I believe so. Yeah, at least the last I heard. Earlier this year, it was still happening. So Brendan has dragged this guy through the fucking muck and mire because he made fun of him.
They're definitely two.
And by the way, unique, like, credit to him. He's a guy that I started watching early that I was like, oh, maybe people would be interested in reacting to, like, Opie and Anthony and stuff. Like, Unique was one of the first guys I saw doing that. But his videos have... like 3,000 views. You know what I mean? Like, and not shitting on that, but I'm saying like that's the guy that Brendan reacted to. A guy that gets 3, 4, maybe sometimes 7,000 views. And Brendan looked at that and said, I need to stop that. I need to take that down.
How come I think that would be a good podcast? Portnoy and Schaub together.
I think you'd be wrong, but
on many levels, but it'd be entertaining. $2 for Mike. Mike So Nice, $2. Pair character, one of them stickers. Thank you so much, Mike So Nice.
Thank you, sir.
And one more here. KFT, $1.99. Finally fired, sorry. The finally fired Craig. Blind Mike knew, hashtag.
No, he was just on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Who are these socials mashup on Thursday you guys did? Sorry about the intro.
It sure was. It was weird. I expected the regular intro, and it just never came. I was just sitting there.
I did not Craig-proof the intro. That is on me. That is my bad. Where would you like to go next, Mike?
What do we have? Oh, I guess King Azoulay. Let's do King Azoulay. There was a commenter very upset with me. He goes, "Listen, Mike. Usually I like you, but you have platformed this King Azoulay guy, and he's done some bad stuff. I just can't stand by as you promote this man." And I was like, did you watch the segment? We called him a fucking liar. We called him a crazy person. So we made fun of King Azoulay last week. And some people did point out, and this video by John Bravo just got posted a few days ago. I think a couple days after we talked about King Azoulay. But the king is being talked about a lot these days. Like I said, Too Lazy to Try covered him a week or two ago. He's got a lot of attention now. He's in that alpha male universe. And a couple of commenters did think it was important. I do think it's worth mentioning who exactly we're talking about. Now, one commenter was like, you can't make fun of this guy, which I find to be silly. We should only make fun of non-criminals, but this is what he's talking about. This is why we shouldn't ever mention King Azoulay, is the stuff that John Bravo exposed this week. So King Azoulay, a bit of a nut, but also apparently a monster, according to more litigation, more court documents that we're going over today.
It's called prison.
Yeah, so King Azoulay was in jail, and he kind of glosses over that. We didn't play the clip of him last week because in the video I watches, he just goes, "Hey, if I was in jail, don't look into that." And I said, "All right, King, if you say so." So I didn't look into it, and apparently there's a lot more to it.
And I wanted to go back to the beginning where he claims he was in prison, right? I wanted to see if he ever was in prison or if it's another one of his bullshit stories because he's only talked about it once. And
I just want to preface this here. John Bravo does a great job with this video. A little annoying. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but it is a very good job. So that's who we're listening to is John Bravo.
Amazing hair, Mike. He's got amazing hair.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That he went to prison for something that he didn't do.
And after that, I got arrested. I got arrested for something that they said that I did, and I didn't do it.
So don't worry about it, right? Why,
Problem solved.
Be like me and just bury your head in the sand. Go, if a guy says he didn't do anything wrong, whatever. No sense in looking into that. But John Bravo luckily did look into it and say, why was this guy in jail? So I think that's what we're talking about now.
Yeah, what happened is
He was 18 years old. He went to a party with his brother and a bunch of his other friends. They see a girl there, 15 years old, a cheerleader, beautiful girl from high school. The party, they're all there having a good time. Him and his brother and the other friend and a few other people tell the girl, hey, come back to the party at my parents' house. We'll stop by the liquor store. We'll get some.
And maybe I'm weird for focusing on this part. When we were playing clips of him, when he was 18, he was homeless. His parents had kicked him out, according to his story. So just another in the litany of lies. That part I at least kind of believed, that he was out of his parents' house when he was 17. Even that's not true.
Stolen homeless valor.
Yeah.
You bastard.
That might be you'll hear that's a very minor thing for me to be concerned about, but it is on my mind.
It is also, I bet, AI artists never thought their art would be used for this story. This is a weird story to see children AI art.
IDs, we'll have fun, we'll party. So the girl listens, she goes, she's naive, and I don't think she ever expected to happen what happened. Ben, King Asshole, his brother, Dylan, and another kid, they're all Israeli, so I guess they're very close. They all took turns taking advantage of her. I have to be careful with what I say here. In every which way possible. I'm talking from behind, the mouth. It's really bad.
There's something creepier about this guy explaining it than the actions themselves.
Yeah, I'm not liking that.
Really hard to say, but they all took turns on her. She was a 15-year-old virgin.
So remember I think the last clip we played of King Azoulay was him being like, you need a girl to be a virgin. If a girl's a virgin, I'm proposing to her immediately. That's all you need. That's one thing he stuck to his guns about. Apparently that was true. This guy's just a fucking monster, according to this.
Now we're going to get some details on this.
Goody. I was hoping. Well, hey, This is what you asked for in the comments. People were like, hey, you got to shine a serious light on this guy. Well, this is what you're getting, dickhead.
To his house. A highly intoxicated H is repeatedly and forcibly AR'd by at least 3 of the defendants while the others stand by and watch. H was forcibly dragged into a bedroom by Ben, who stripped of her clothes, forced her to perform OS on him.
Want to go back to jokes now, or you still want this, dickhead?
I mean, technically, that is.
Can we make jokes about him fighting 1 on 30 now, or do we have to listen to this? All right, fine. Keep listening to the charges.
I get it now. The king is because he's a medieval monster. I get it. All right, is this king-like behavior?
It was one comment, so of course I'm overreacting to it. But it was just funny that the guy was like, "Hey, this guy's done some bad stuff. You have to talk about that. Don't mock him. Talk about the serious stuff. All right, is this more fun? Here, listen to what he did to this little girl."
No, it's not fun.
And then oral blank on her against her will. Ben then proceeded to brutally force himself upon H, beating her and ard her against her will. Other boys, including Dylan and Mayer, watched while this was going on, but made no effort to stop Ben. In fact, each time she attempted to escape, she was pulled back into the room and subjected to further S assault. After Ben had finished ravaging H, he passed her to his brother Dylan, who dragged her from Ben's room to Dylan's room. While R-ing her, he bit her on the neck and Dylan and Ben then flipped H onto her stomach, face down, and she was again R'd from behind by both.
Yeah, there's a lot we could have done with that, right? We should have played these clips instead of him being like, "Oh yeah, I worked with the mob and ran from Pablo Escobar." Those were a lot less fun than what we're listening to now.
I like Brendan Schaub a lot more right in this moment. I don't know why.
Yeah, the guy seems like a bit of a monster, this King Azoulay. But I don't understand, like, the guy that said, like, "Hey, you shouldn't talk about this guy." So because he's a monster, we shouldn't make fun of him? That's like, hey, listen. Make fun of Brendan Schaub. Don't make fun of actual pieces of shit.
Yeah, this is... charges are the final one here.
All right, you're going to get a full dose. Here's what he did, allegedly.
Ben, Dylan, and Mayer were subsequently arrested and interviewed by the police. Ben and Dylan also informed the police that they had watched Mayer R.H. Ben was prosecuted as an adult. Dylan and Mayer were both charged as minors. Ben admitted his guilt in open court and was convicted on the charge of violating Penal Code Section 288, blank with a minor. Dylan also admitted his guilt and was convicted in a juvenile proceeding on a charge of violating Penal Code Section 261, R of an intoxicated unconscious person.
Happy?
No one's happy now.
You didn't think maybe the music there was inappropriate to end with?
Oh, it's a that's all, folks.
Yeah, terrific.
I put that at the end of all. Yeah,
well, I hope you enjoyed that. We took a little break from making jokes about King Azoulay to talk about the real stuff. Hope you're satisfied.
I didn't like that.
Well, too bad. It's what you got. It's what they asked for. So,
I got one super chat here for you, Mike. We'll just clean this palette out. $4.99 from Adam. Love you, Mike, but you're acting like Richard Ojeda to a free comment.
Oh, I was kind of kidding. I don't really care. I'm not that upset about it. I just thought it'd be funny. I thought it'd be funny to do because it was a very funny comment to be like, "Hey, don't platform this guy, Mike." It's like, it's not. I'm not having him on and saying, "What are your dates, Ben?"
Yeah, this is an interview to like babysit your children. People, he's watching
Right.
It's a TV show. Yeah, so
I miss Ojeda. I looked at this Ojeda this week. It's just not a lot when he's not interacting with the chat and just kind of sitting. It's the same political takes, you know. There's not enough there, unfortunately.
He's keeping it tame and humble because he's running for Congress, so he can't get wild right now. You know.
Yeah,
like,
I'm hoping we get some good political ads. That's all I can hope for.
I told him we're at his disposal. HACKRIDE Studio, Blind Mike, we're all at your disposal, Richard, and he has not called a favor in yet.
Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, the show's about to get darker because we're getting even more grotesque with another man who's in some legal entanglements. Steel toe, Aaron Imholt.
What's going on with people?
Well, Aaron Imholt has been a naughty boy, and he's been talking about Kayla Ricada too much. He's been mentioning her too frequently on his program. Apparently, the judge in his revenge porn case was none too pleased with that. They told Aaron, keep her name out of your fucking mouth. And Aaron couldn't really do it. He didn't realize all the allusions to her that he made were kind of violating the terms he was under. So Patrick Melton was there on Wednesday, I think, reporting on what was going on with Steel Toe. Steel Toe tweets out, "Hey guys, no evening show tonight." He just kind of made it seem like I'm a little tired, a little tuckered out. So Thursday morning he comes on, and we've got a new Steel Toe. We've got a new Aaron Imholt. He's turned over a new leaf, and this is the show we're getting here on in, it seems.
Moving on is the title here.
Okay, yeah, well, that's what we have to do as a society. Not just Aaron. We collectively finally have to get over this Kayla Ricada stuff.
If you want to talk about anything yesterday related or anything related to anything going forward, here's what I will tell you. There are shitloads of people who are going to talk about it.
Hi.
Shitloads of people who are going to talk about it endlessly. Like it's all they have in the world. All right?
Seems strong.
Yeah. Didn't you just see
I don't know if there's shitloads. I can think of like 2 or 3 shows that'll talk about it.
Yeah, didn't you just see our King Azoulay segment? Come on. This is not all about you, Aaron.
Right.
I will not. I will thank everyone who sent me very kind messages. Thank you to Cheetos, who's an absolute G, I think superstar of the day.
Cheetos, what he's referring to there is Cheetos is a guy who owns a bar, Stoney's. The bar he's always the bar is always giving away gift cards to.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetos owns Stoney's. What a sentence. And I guess Patrick Melton and the Ricadas and some other NLO fans and whoever else was at the courthouse, they stopped by Stoney's after Aaron's court appearance, and they said, "Let's have a couple wobbly pops." We pop into Stoney's, we check it out. Aaron's always promoting it. Let's see what the fuss is about. And I guess Cheetos, the guy who's Aaron's calling an absolute G or whatever the fuck he said, Cheetos goes up to Patrick Melton and goes, I don't want pedophiles in my bar."
Only bikers.
Patrick's like, like he's lying about that, right? Like that's not. And Cheetos is like, "What the fuck did you say?" Like he's all angry at him, and I guess he kicked them all out of his establishment. They were the only customers in there in the middle of the day, and the savvy businessman that he is, Cheetos, had them all removed. So that's what Aaron's referring to there.
Mike, are you proud of your life right now? After those few sentences, I'm just saying.
It's rough.
Have a big Weird Al concert I'm going to with my daughter on Saturday. I'm
Neat.
very excited. You want to...
Ooh, Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota. I bet he'd do that song in Minnesota. I'm just saying, I'm a big Weird Al fan. Anyway, sorry.
You want to watch some meme copium? Meme will talk about it. As far as I go, I told you yesterday I'm burying my past yesterday, and I have. I've buried my past as far as I'm concerned.
Aaron has a tremendous amount of epiphanies and like retrospection. Like I feel like maybe once a month. Is that fair to say? Aaron will have he'll you know what I've decided? Big life change.
Mm-hmm.
Just totally revamping my life. Total makeover of my insides. I'm going to become a new guy starting today. It's amazing to have to come to that. Have that moment, seemingly monthly, where he's like, "I've decided I'm burying my past." And the past he's referring to is sending Gino Bisconti a picture of a naked woman. "I'm burying my past." He's Frank Lucas or something.
Again, if you want to talk about it, you are welcome to talk about it anywhere you want. If you send me money to talk about it, it will not get put up on the screen. It will not get read.
All right.
If you
Problem
came here
solved.
to harass...
But does it count towards the goal is the real question.
That's a great question, actually. Will any of that count towards the goal?
And part of me thinks he's going to use that as an excuse to not count it towards the goal.
Wow.
And at the end, if he needs it, he's going to count it towards the goal.
We're gonna show you a little later.
Okay.
I don't know if you're gonna be worried about the goal for a little while. Don't you worry about that pesky goal. It's been taken care of.
Oh no.
Ask me about any of it.
Okay.
You're totally free to do that wherever you want. My guys, just go ahead and...
By the way, he's the victim now. He's like, if you're going to go back a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is where Aaron changes the tone of his show on a whim constantly. Where, first of all, he's like, this entire case is about Aaron harassing a woman. Not for the first time either, by the way. But Aaron's harassing this, and he goes, "You want to come in here and harass me about my harassing that I've done?" It's like, well, I don't know. Pick a lane, Aaron. Are you the harasser or not? Are you this edgelord that like can take anything, or are you the guy that goes, "Don't come in here and harass me with that. I'm not going to tolerate that." And then he tells his mods, I've only been interested in Aaron for about a year, give or take. And in that time, I've heard so many different times, "Hey, mods, let the chat say whatever they want. Hey," I forget the phrase he used. It was like, "Bulldoze the chat. Get them all out. Clear the roads. Get them all out." Yeah. He said that. He said, "Let them do whatever they want. I ain't no bitch. I ain't no little pussy boy. I'm not some 9-year-old that Mike Catherwood is beating up. You know, I can fend for myself here." And now he's back on clear the roads, baby. Those highways are pretty luxurious right now. Headed to Steel Toe Industries.
If you came here to harass me about any of it, you're totally free to do that wherever you want. My guys, just go ahead and get rid of them. We roll with the people who support us. We roll with the people who love the toe. And for me, I got a fucking show to do. Ooh. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Aaron, oddly, name-wise, Aaron is a Aaron Sorkin character, where he speaks in a way, like, if you watch Aaron Sorkin movies, which some I like, but you're like, no one talks like this. Like, okay, Aaron Sorkin always has this fantasy of someone having this moment. Everything is a moment in an Aaron Sorkin written piece. And that's also Aaron Imholt's life, where everything is this, he's giving this speech. Like, he's finally setting the record straight. And now it's going to be like this forever. And he's going to have to do this again in 2 weeks when he accidentally says Rekida's name or puts fucking Kayla Rekida up on the screen or does some other stupid bullshit that he's inevitably going to do. And then after that, he's going to be like, I was out in the woods with my family. And as I looked up at the stars, I thought about how vast this universe is and what a small part I am of it. And I said to myself, if I'm not making that little part better, what am I even doing here? And then he's going to fuck up again and call Kayla a whore or something, and then have to do another apology. It's just an endless cycle with this asshole.
He's like the what the fuck is his name? Never mind. Moving on.
All right.
Sorry, I forgot his name. West Wing. The cute guy on West Wing, or the handsome man on West Wing. He reminds me of that. Yeah, like walking down the hall on West Wing with these ridiculous points that no one talks about.
There you go.
He's very much Sorkin, yes. I like that you're a fan of Sorkin.
Nicholas, my golfing buddy, with $10. Thank you, pal. Appreciate that.
Have you seen me, like when Justin comes in here and gives like donates, super chats, how uncomfortable I get with the idea of someone that knows me being like, "Here's a few bucks, buddy. Looks like you need it." Aaron's going to the golf course telling people to super chat his show, and he's not uncomfortable with that. He's like, "Hey, come on, send a few bucks for the toe. We got to hit the goal, right?" That's not uncomfortable to him. This man has no shame.
No. Kane, thank you for the $1. 265 away from today. Ooh, we're only like $15, $25 away from the real fun parts of the goal.
Ooh,
we're in the 240, 230 neighborhood.
There's a range of fun.
265 away from today. Thank you guys very much.
265, I'm starting to have some fun. But when it gets down to 230, yeehaw, baby. That's when I really get jacked up.
This is odd.
Going. Harada becoming a steel toe bro. Thank you very much. That's going to put us at 260. Thank you for your membership, Harada. I appreciate it. If you like talking about the news, but you're utterly retarded and don't really understand it, we're the show. We're the news and the comedy talk show for the people too retarded. If you're one of these people who watches like news stuff and after about 20 seconds of someone explaining it, you go, and you just kind of stare at them blankly so they don't know that you completely fucking lost the plot, watch us. We'll take care of you.
That's an oddly accurate assessment of what the show is. I don't know if Aaron realizes he's done it. He's saying it's a show for retards.
Yes.
It is. And I don't think Aaron's like terrible at talking politics. It's just vanilla. Like I to be fair, I go through it at double speed and hit the 30-second button fairly often. But what the little I do take in, he's not like inept at talking about political stories. He's just like, you've heard it before. It's just not that big a deal. But what's interesting is now that's all Aaron has. He's a political show now. He's not able to do, and he's vowed that he won't be a show that talks about the drama in his life. Maybe he'll talk about the Weird Al concert that he's going to, which will be, scintillating. I can't wait to hear that breakdown. Did he play My Bologna, Aaron? Yeah, we need to know.
Eat It. Did he play Eat It? I need to know.
Oh, I bet he did, and I can't wait to hear.
It's got to be the closer. Yeah.
Oh, and my daughter really liked it. Who gives a shit, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's just going to be a boring political show, and it'll be fascinating to watch what Aaron does as this goal gets further and further out of reach, unless he has days like he did, because like I said, the goal taken care of for a little while. But I don't want to get ahead of myself.
60.
All right, next up is fun stuff.
Yeah, so 260, you hear him there. I guess what he means when he says 240 and 230 are the fun areas of the goal.
Yes.
I'm sure that needs no explaining to anyone. I'm sure you guys at
good.
home all totally get. But for any newbies, sometimes new people pop into the show, and I should explain to you, when the goal is $240 away, Aaron makes some joke about a bean dinner. Says it's too farty. Yeah. And then when it's 2:30, Aaron says it's time to go to the dentist.
Tooth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's fine as a throwaway line. You know, I have some fun like that as well. You know, who has more fun than us here with a little wordplay? But I guess Aaron does that every time, and that's what he's talking about. When he gets to 2:30, everyone has a lot of fun because he gets to make the dentist joke. And then the chat's like, oh man, Aaron did it again. This is crazy. So the reason I bring all this up is to say, what happens when the goal is at 260? The chat is craving for a little wordplay right now. They're saying, geez, can we crack this code? And by God, the comedic genius of Aaron Imholt, he's done it again, folks.
All right, guys, our goal today is 260. There we go. I think that works. Today's goal is 260. Let's knock out 260. That's the goal when you guys just want to fuck me. All right, let's continue on. Again, thank you, Harada, for becoming a member. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. Who's the cutest boy in the world? You're the cutest boy in the world.
What the fuck is going on in that clip, Mike?
I don't know. I really don't know. And here's the thing.
Oh boy.
Here's the thing with Aaron. Is like it's fun to make fun of that clip and everything. But here's my only real problem with it. Is if Aaron was that guy and true to that guy, like if Aaron was just openly a dork, like just a complete, hey, I don't give a fuck, uninhibited, if that was him all the time, I'm not even playing that clip. It's just like, oh, that's Aaron's sense of humor, whatever. My problem with Aaron is like last week we put a clip where he's like, if you like Karen, if you're interested in the Karen Reed case, you're gay. You're gay. The only way you're not gay is if you like sports. Sports are cool. True crime is gay. You're all little gay little bitches. If you're into true crime, you should like sports and be a man like me. That's my problem with Aaron is like, you can't be like the tough guy, the alpha male guy. He oddly wants to be, excluding the clips we played today, he oddly wants to be like King Azoulay. He wants to be like an alpha male guy. But like he really thinks of himself that way. He's like, I'm a man and I influence other men to be like me. But at his core, he's that clip that we just played. He's just a dork, which it's fine to be that, Aaron. But don't then go on and be like, I'm influencing my audience to be these fucking men. We eat meat and chop wood. We're guys. We talk sports. And then you make jokes like, you just want to fuck me. Too sexy. What the fuck are we doing?
Well, I'm going to clip that. The next one here is called Big Moment.
Okay, everyone, get ready. Because what you're about to see is unprecedented in steel toe history. It's a first. It's a big deal. And I hope everyone captures the magic the way Aaron does. He reacts to it very appropriately here.
I appreciate that. There we go. 250 is the number. Hey, throw in a little Streamlabs, a little PayPal, a little Venmo, a little everything.
Just a little.
Oh my God. I need to know what this is.
That's the reaction Stern had on 9/11. Where he's like, what? A plane hit the World Trade Tower? What the fuck are you talking about? Aaron sees something and he's like, oh my God. What is? Stop the presses, everyone. You guys, this is going to be great show content. I have more money than I did a few seconds ago. All right. Clear the roads, gang. We're going to spend the next 20 minutes on this because it's as exciting for you, the audience, as it is for me. So this needs to be really, really just worshipped. We got to cherish this moment.
A little everything. Oh my God. I need to know what this is for. Hold on a minute, guys. Stop the presses. Stop the show.
This is like if someone, Nick Rekieta has passed away. Your only reason for getting up in the morning ceases to exist. That's the reaction Aaron should have. Oh my God. But what is it, Aaron? Tell us. Hello?
I got to see something.
Well, maybe say something. You're on a podcast.
Fuck all the haters. Can I get a free link on Rumble Friday? LOL. Steven with $800.
Wow. He could. I like that Aaron could barely even get the words out. He's like, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Steven with $800. Wow. Now get ready for one of the schmaltziest speeches and pleas to the audience. This is, and believe me, if someone dropped $800, you'd be, oh, holy shit, that's way too generous. Are you sure? Can we send that back to you? You must have made a mistake. It is worth acknowledging. But now the show stops, comes to a halt, to pay homage to Lord Stephen, the greatest man in human history.
Holy shit, buddy. Thank you. Here, let's do all of these for him.
They are afraid.
This is what you get for $800. Think of some things that cost $800. You know, try and imagine in your mind what you pay. Some people pay $800 for rent, depending upon where you live. Like that, $800 is a decent sum of money. What do you get for your steel-toed dollar when you contribute $800? Well, if you thought that Keith Olbermann was a good start, you're in for a real treat.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Let's do it for Johnny, man. We'll do it for Johnny. But I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Worth every
Why
penny.
do they come to me to die? Why do they come to me to die?
Is that O'Neill?
They just keep going. They're out of context now. Don't even make sense.
Rambunctiousness and misdemeanor behind them. It is, ain't it, boys?
Yes, sir. It is.
Oh, wow.
He loves it. He's like, hey, you know, repaid in full, my friend. You gave me $800. Here's your money back.
Deal done.
Shit, Steven, thank you.
Matter of fact, you might owe me a little more for what I just played.
Yeah, you know, listen, I'm coming out a loser on this one, but you got the Ed O'Neill clip and the Elon Musk clip. I think worth every penny, wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah. Oh, brother, art thou isn't free over here. Love it.
For the $800, dude. I don't want to cry on stream.
He's gonna cry. He almost
What?
made a face like he was gonna
But-
cry.
Wait, what?
Yes, he made a face like his face
Cry?
twitched.
For what?
$800. I think I might cry. I don't know. I'm not gonna,
Why? To what end? What do you mean?
Someone loves me.
But they don't.
I know.
Evidently, if this guy is real, which people have speculated this didn't happen, that Aaron just made this up.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
But if Steven is real, like he's an idiot, I think. He's frivolously spending his money. But like he chose to do that. It's very nice of him. Why is Aaron crying? Why is that so important to him? That people give him money. That's the most important thing in his life. He said it numerous times. That more important than anything is that strangers give him money. And to me, it's like, why would $800 make you cry more than when someone gives you $50? Like they're all equally nice. It just means that guy can afford it more than someone who's giving $2, you know? Like they're all equally generous. You know the phrase every dollar counts, Aaron? Maybe when someone gives you an exorbitant amount of money, don't make the entire show about it, I guess is all I'm saying.
And with $800, man, and you getting like this, man, we need a screenshot. Like, you know, the receipts, buddy. Like,
well, he also I do believe, because you might ask why would he fake this? Because now the goal is knocked out through Tuesday. I believe my math is correct. So why would Aaron fake this? And the answer is because it incentivizes others. People say, 800, I'll give 900. And that's what Aaron's doing here. It's not this choked up, I can't believe what a great guy Steven is. It's look at the thank you Steven is getting. Don't you want that? Don't you want to be a good boy like Steven and do all your chores so I can pat you on the head and give you dessert?
And it has a nice effect of just not having to talk about the goal for 3 shows and looking like a winner for 3 shows. Yeah, I can see how this could be totally fugazi.
Yes. Yeah, it's odd that the name is just Steven. It's not a funny name. There's no last name.
And if you know you're Aaron, and if you know people hate you this much, like I'm saying, you're being, all right, guys, I know you're not going to believe this. Here, let me screenshot it. Here's the receipt. Here's the Venmo.
Well, I mean, I get if I'll play devil's advocate here. I appreciate you finishing my sentence for me. Thank you. If I could play devil's advocate, I would say that Aaron may not want to give this guy's information out. Like if he sent it on PayPal fair. Or whatever, you know.
Not if you want to get more. That's
right.
For sure. Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about any of this anymore.
Okay, but I will.
But and you know me, I've been at this game long enough to that people wanting to laugh and chuckle and chortle and whatever at anything that happens with me does not bother me. It's totally fine. That doesn't register on an emotional level. What does register?
It seems like you mention it a lot for something that doesn't register. Mm-hmm. Seems like you bring it up every fucking day that other shows talk about you. He's going to be, it doesn't register to me. How do you know it's happening if it doesn't register? How do you bring it up constantly about these people that seethe and they're obsessed with you and you're the only reason they have to live? How are you aware of them if it doesn't register to you? You could say it doesn't bother you, but saying it doesn't register is just inherently untrue.
These locals think saying this somehow gives these other people power if they say, yes, they affected me. But it's actually just being honest, and people would identify with you more if you were just like, hey, this sucks. But they can't do that. They can't get out of their own way.
He's about to give a speech with the same fervor that like Martin Luther King had.
Oh, no.
He's about to give a speech about like mankind, and togetherness because someone gave him $800.
On an emotional level is the fucking support. I'm not afraid of anything anymore because of the amount of support I've been shown.
Hold on, let me get this straight. The process that Aaron has had to go through at age 38, mind you, or 39, however old Aaron is. This is the process he's gone through. And it's like he's speaking like someone that has had a long battle with cancer and come out on top. He's in remission now. Or someone that's had like a real struggle, like their parents died and they were on their own when they were very young. What Aaron's talking about is 8 months ago, he sent a nude picture of a lady to Gino Bisconti. That's the obstacle he's overcome and the growing process he's gone. He's like, man, it really is unbelievable the support people have for me out there. And man, I just think of all the young kids out there that might learn from me, and now they're not going to send nude pictures of Kayla Ricada to Gino Bisconti. And I look and I think, I did that, That's the mark I left on this world, is now generations of people will know not to send nude photos of Kayla Ricada without her consent. It's really so powerful that I did that, and I had that impact.
Narcissistic people tend to cry about themselves and their story a lot.
There's a lot of that in there too. Like Stuttering John talking about how he's touched, he's reached all the kids in his class.
Yes.
And if you want to clip this and you want to do 9 hours of content about how gay I'm being right now,
thanks, Aaron.
You can't hurt me.
But okay, Aaron. First of all, I'm not trying to hurt you. Nor is anyone else, by the way. I don't think. But
Nick Ricada is definitely trying to hurt him. But
this is. Well, sure, yes. You know what? I'll grant you that. Nick Ricada is trying to hurt him, I think. Nick Ricada, by the way, restraining order for Aaron Imholt.
Unbelievable.
So this guy that has moved past everything, it's not even doesn't even register to me. He's filing paperwork
against a lawyer
to fuck with Nick Ricada. And I listened to Nick Ricada. I think Ricada said he has a 2-hour compilation of Aaron bringing up Nick Ricada unprovoked.
He was asking people to send in clips. Hey, send in clips if you got him. It got flooded.
The number, and I don't know that this is true, the number that Ricada threw out as the estimate of how many times he's mentioned him in the last year is
we gotta do over-under.
No joke. Okay, over under. What do you think?
I'm gonna go last year. You said
from April 11th of last year. Yeah,
65 times.
I don't know that this is true. I didn't fact check this. Nick Ricada said 40,000.
I was a little off.
And this is a man, Aaron, who's like, I've just moved past it. I'm over that part of my life, But this is he's like, yeah, you guys can't hurt me. It's like, no one's trying to hurt you. We think you're a goofball. You're a funny goofball to make fun of. And that's where a guy like Aaron has no... It's why he's bad at this type of show. Like, he tried to talk about, like, Stuttering John and Chad Zumach, and that's what got him in this whole mess originally. Like, he's not very good at this because he's not perceptive. He looks at, like, this little piggy, Carl and Patrick and those guys, talking about Aaron. And they're like, oh, they make fun of me because I'm gay. They think I'm gay. And it's like, that's your read on the situation? That they're just calling you gay? Like, that's what you think is mockable about you. We're like, oh, Aaron's so gay. It's like, no, there's a litany of other charges we're pressing against you. There's so much more before we get to Aaron being gay that is mockable. So he has no ability to diagnose what people find funny about him.
No, and then he'll use that. He'll be like, 260. See, all they talk about is me is gay. And
right.
It's a shield.
but like what I think is funny about it, I can't speak for anyone else. But what I think is funny about Aaron is this grandiose self-importance that he has, where someone gives him money and he's giving a speech like, well, I came out of what's the Mike Schmidt speech? I came out of Toledo, Ohio. Is that where he's from? With 2 very bad knees and a dream to become a Major League Baseball player. Like, Aaron's talking about it like he's this underdog story that deserves celebration. That Schmidt thing is going to bother me. Tell me in the chat, where's Mike Schmidt from?
Dayton.
Dayton, Ohio. Yes, thank you.
That's Steve Holm. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, buddy.
Like, I'm tempered in shit at this point. Well, that shit can't get to me. What can get to me still
is money.
Is after being railroaded out of radio, in my opinion, by people who were fucking jealous.
Okay, so to recap, for those that don't know the steel toe lore, and I'm not particularly well versed in it, Aaron is now entrenched in a case where he's harassing a woman. That's what the crux of the revenge porn thing is, where he is essentially harassing Kayla Ricada, or at least that's the charge. What he's referring to being railroaded in radio is Aaron was fired from his job in radio for harassing a woman. So Aaron's talking about all this long, strange road he's traveled, this long and winding road, and he's come out better on the other side. He crawled through a river of shit, came out clean, because he went from harassing a woman in his early days, and now he has ended up harassing a woman. So there's a lot of growth with Aaron. It's really impressive what he's done here. And listen, I don't know enough about Aaron's kit, why he got fired from radio. I probably would have defended him just in the name of free speech. I don't know what Aaron did necessarily to deserve to get fired. But it is more proof that the court is looking for that he's learned nothing in all of this. He has a real issue with women and never seems to learn.
It's really the Andy Dufresne of woman stalking, if you think about it.
Very much, yes.
Kicking the shit out of them.
Uh-oh.
And after being able to make this work here, after the entire weight of the world trying to push down on you and kill you.
Listen to this pompous ass.
Yikes.
The weight of the world. Like, how do you not feel douchey saying that? Even if it feels true to you, how do you not feel like a douchebag saying to these people that, by the way, like they're listening to Aaron while they're at their regular job, they're at a desk job, or they've got them playing while they're fucking working construction or something. Yeah, they're on a roof in the middle of fucking June listening to Aaron, and he's like, man, I really have the weight of the world pressing against me.
Zelensky said the same thing, and it's like, is this too much? This is probably too much. Yes?
Kill you. And you telling them, fuck off, you can't kill me. I wouldn't have the balls to do that right in their face if I didn't have fucking crazy support like this. Honestly, after a day that was, it wasn't a great day, but there were a lot of positives that came out of it. Like, I'm done.
The day Aaron is referring to, he was jailed. That's what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. He went to court, and they dragged him out and brought him to a jail cell, albeit for a short time. He wasn't in very long. But that's what Aaron's referring to. He's like, hey, did yesterday have some dark spots? Like when I was arrested and my fucking trial was pushed back to October? That might have been a blemish on the day, I suppose. But what lifts me up is people like you. The good people. You're the wind beneath my wings. Boy, the insult that Aaron is giving these people, like, to strive to be the wind beneath Aaron's wings. To be like, hey, I took part in lifting up Steel Toe. Man, that is a sweet place to be.
Put it on his gravestone. Gave 800 when Aaron needed it most.
There were a lot of positives that came out of it. Like, I'm done. I'm finished with it.
It's actually not true. You have another court appearance October 2nd. So it actually is dangling over your head for a lot longer than you expected.
I got a nice cheese sandwich and a banana at the jail. That was fun.
Yes, that's a bright spot in the day.
Yeah. You're not going to hear me say anything about anything. But then also, like, the fucking amount of mess in my inbox filled with people.
40,000 starting now. Starting now.
Yay, Aaron! You really gave it to that girl when you sent a nude picture of her against her will. What are they supporting? Like, what? You're not Nelson Mandela, Aaron. What the fuck? What do you think injustice is being done to you? Aaron's like, man, the show of support that people have given me. Like, Aaron's fucking Matthew Shepard. He's a symbol for the cause.
Yeah, he found a market inefficiency. He's like, hey, no one's supporting this. Let me get over here and put my face on it.
Yeah.
Being supportive. Filled with people who get it. Filled with people who just,
hey, man,
said some
that bitch had it coming. You should send more nudes of her. That's what I think.
That nice titted bitch. Do you see the tits on her?
Yeah, fuck her. I hope Gino whacked off to her photo. That's the case we're talking about. This is not a case like some big human rights trial or No one's life is at stake. Aaron sent a nude of a lady. She didn't like it. So she said, stop harassing me. And Aaron's like, my God, sometimes you just learn a lot about people when the outpouring of support comes out. We're like, Aaron, you go ahead and harass that girl. Give it to her.
This is a crazy case that question could be asked in court. Gino Bisconte, after the said picture was sent to you, did you finish? Like that could be it.
I was listening to those guys, and I think Moody brought up the point where he's like, Aaron is going to keep having Gino and Kayla on his shows, and Gino's a fucking loser. I actually kind of hate that guy now. I've been on shows with him. He seems like a very nice guy, but the more I see of him, I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, he's a terrible broadcaster. I shouldn't say he's a loser. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. But God, is he poison on podcasts? And every time he opens his mouth, he's calling, he'll say horrible things about like Kayla Arcada and April and all this stuff that Aaron legally can't be involved in. And he's still going to have those people on his show. So that'll be one of the most interesting things to watch, I think.
Keanu has the patience of a goddamn saint. That's what I think when I watch that stuff.
I'm sure she has her own problems, you know?
Oh yes.
Really nice things. And then people like Steven throwing fucking $800 at the toe just because he says, fuck all the haters. Just because he sees, the amount of people.
You hear that, Patrick? Fuck you. Here's $800 to tell you to go fuck yourself. It doesn't change Patrick Melton's life or Carl's or who are the girls? Pretty Antisocial?
Pretty Antisocial. They're in the chat. Hi, girls.
Oh, hello, ladies. I apologize for not knowing you. You're my favorite. But like that $800, Aaron's like, that's a fuck you to them. I don't know these ladies. Maybe you can confirm if you're in the chat. Was your world rocked when Steven gave that $800? Were you shattered? Were you brought to your knees weeping? My God, who could do this? Why would they do this to Aaron? Why would they support him like that? No one gives a fuck, Aaron. This is not a fuck you to anyone. It's just funny to laugh at you because of this pompous grandstanding that you do. You get on your soapbox and act like you're a martyr for this big cause. No, you're a guy who sent the nude. The lady said, hey, I don't like that. I'd like reckoning. It's not that big a deal.
You've convinced me, by the way, just because this is all way too rehearsed, right? Like this whole segment of appreciation, we'll call it. Like this wasn't just off the dome because someone gave 800. This was
spur of the moment thing.
No, not. He's checking script. You can see he's reading.
Well, maybe he was pondering it the 80 minutes he spent in jail. A man does a lot of reflecting when you're looking at those bars.
Mm-hmm.
Try to make their living off the back of the toe. And he goes, you know what? Fuck these people. Here's my, just you being nice to me and just you being a fan and enjoying the show is more than enough to make me feel touched. But then
it's more than enough. But I literally never do this just for that. I literally have never once stopped the show for 15 minutes to thank you guys for liking and subscribing and giving a thumbs up. I only do it when it's an unusual amount of money. But the people that give me no money, they're just as impactful. They mean just as much to me. I just never once acknowledge them.
In a date and a time I needed the most. Steve was there. How? Pretty Antisocial said they were rocked.
I can only imagine, girls. I'm so sorry.
Their eyes are still swollen shut. I don't know what that means, but it sounds
I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. Well, they were crying so much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Monetary number on that support is so far above, and it being that number is so fucking above and beyond. I can't tell you how much it means to me.
Oh, do a chargeback.
So thank you very much, Steven.
Hero.
I appreciate.
Mike, if you do a chargeback on $800, oh boy, does that really fuck over the person? MSO, you got him.
It would really fuck him over because that money is spent in Aaron's head already. Like that money is already going to new golf clubs or whatever. Aaron has something in mind, and that money has already been spent in Aaron's head. So yes, that would fuck him over tremendously.
Appreciate it. You're the fucking man. And everybody, and honestly, all of you, whether you're throwing in $800 like Steven.
Hey, you too, afterthoughts. You're just as important.
you're hitting thumbs up or even thumbs down. I found out that even if you hit thumbs down, that's an interaction and it helps the algorithm. Just hitting thumbs up.
Why did you search that?
And even if everyone hates my show, it actually helps me, believe it or not.
One day I was just thinking about thumbs down for no reason.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, why is he searching that?
I prefer thumbs.
It's never crossed my mind to look into that.
What does the algorithm say about this? I see a lot of these here.
Thumbs up. But like even the thumbs up, like that means the fucking world to me.
Yeah. I've never once acknowledged it, except in this moment where I kind of have to, because I look like a greedy asshole. But
the shit-eating grin he has on his face right now, I just wish you could borrow my eyes.
That might as well be fucking Ed McMahon showing up at your house with a giant check. Like that $800, Aaron is acting like it's life-changing money. And again, it's extremely generous. But to treat that like a guy who has $5 is some asshole. And the guy that gives you $800, he's a real hero. He's saying fuck you to the haters. Like to put more importance on that is kind of a douchey thing to do because these other people are in. I don't know Steven's name. I know
no one does.
I know Gray Duckling. And I know Mussolini Diff. And the other chatters that support Aaron, like those people are just douchebags now because they didn't make a one-time donation that has you stop your show to talk about humanity and how like I can tell everyone to fuck off because of Steven.
Guys, I have an experiment to do. Go ahead and donate $800 and watch us not do this. I mean, we'll care. We'll say thank you.
I'll thank you, and I'll assume you want your money back. I'll assume a mistake was made.
Yeah, decimal in the wrong place.
It's incredibly generous, and I think stupid if you give me $800. There's no need, unless you're literally looking to piss money away. But it would be very much appreciated. But again, I appreciate the people that give on Patreon every month. Like the people that have been day one subscribers have given way more to me than that, probably. You know what I mean? Through various avenues. So I'm very appreciative of them, but I can't stop the show every day and talk about how you should be like Steven and give me $800. That's crazy. And I don't know who it's for. It's not for anyone. Steven isn't enjoying this. Like, who's it for?
Steven's just money laundering or something.
Well, I mean, based on Steven's donation, maybe he is like, yes, I'm part of the toe today.
Part of the team, he is.
Yeah.
He is the W in the win for the toe today.
And knowing there's people out, a shitload of people out there who in life in general and in the world, they fucking get it.
Yeah.
I appreciate
That's
it.
what that $800 shows. Someone gave me $800, and what that proves is there's people in the world who get it, man.
Yeah, man, you just send a naked picture to your buddy of a wife that's not yours, and people get that that's just you changing. You're evolving.
I'll tell you what, Steven is definitely not a mentally ill guy who likes watching Aaron talk about Tucker Carlson. There's no chance it's that. It's definitely proof that he's a great guy.
Steven loves clips from The Outsiders. That's why he's here.
And hey, Steven, I don't mean to trash you, buddy. Pop over, send me $800.
Yes, no, we love Steven. Get over
here.
What do you
We'll accept it, I guess.
Thank you, Optic, for the very kind text. He says, you got this, bro. No, you guys were unbelievable yesterday. Unbelievable.
By the way, he has the tote there, and Steven has $1,000 up there. So he's obviously given more than the $800, an additional $200.
Wow,
so,
what a hero. Yeah. Well, if you're Steven, you can't live. You like it to be a nice round number. You can't live with that 800. You're like, it's got to be 1,000. I have to put my mark on this and show mankind that there are good people out there. Some good people like Steve exist.
Gray Duckling coming in at number 2 at 133.
Shout out Gray Duckling. I told you I know my toe.
And then Crunchy at number 3.
Thank you so much. Balls Deep with $2.
Balls Deep also.
Balls Deep getting in on the fun. That's good.
Walk Through Fire here is our last steel toe.
I mean, this is just more pomposity. This jackass.
Let's go to Mizzle T Shizzle.
Sure.
With 27 months says $800 dono doesn't mean you have to stop begging. I do have to stop. Let's see. 800. Let's see. So we were so that's fine.
You're contemplating? You're contemplating whether or not you have to stop begging? Don't mention money for the next week. That's crazy. If someone right now popped in and gave me $800, the idea that I would then go, hey, but that doesn't stop the rest of you guys from donating. You know, like, hey, 800, if that's from one guy, you guys didn't give the 800, so you still have money in your pockets, you know?
Well, that's from the Kevin Brennan School of Podcasting. If I made $1,000 in the morning, well, I'm coming back tonight to make $2.
Right.
That's what we do.
Smart.
Like, we're good through Monday now. At least Monday. It might be more than, I think Monday, maybe part of 2. So we're good.
You know what,
for
Aaron?
a
I think you're
while.
right. I think part of Tuesday we've got knocked out. Isn't that exciting for all of us together?
Hold on, let me get my calendar straight on this. So part of Tuesday, okay.
So we get a day off Monday. Tomorrow is a holiday of sorts. We don't have to worry about the goal tomorrow. That's nice.
I'm sure he'll turn all the monetization off so we can just sit and enjoy Tucker Carlson, you know, without the...
Do me a favor. Text Craig, say, put your feet up, buddy. Tomorrow, day off. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
Aisle. Wait, no, we're more than that. Hold on. 2, 5, 7. Yeah, we're good into Tuesday.
Nice.
Thank you very much. For
Yes.
That knocks out a
Freedom.
shit fuck of goals. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of your guys' support.
But come Tuesday night, fuck all of you again.
Tuesday night, we're going to, come on. Steven's generosity only went so far.
800 what on Tuesday night? That's all?
You're incredible.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what's really great. And it's kind of a community thing. I'll give you a little example. I take my barrels out, my trash barrels out. And I can't see the number on our trash barrel. So I have to take, if I'm taking out the barrels, I have to take all the barrels out, all the barrels in for all the apartments in our complex. So I've sort of built a community. Now I've noticed other people doing that for me. They say, hey, there's a blind guy out here. Let's take his barrels in. I've built a little community. That's what Steel Toe has done. where people are saying, hey, Steven got us $800 ahead. Let me give some money. And then if I give $200, we're $1,000 ahead. Then we could crack. If I'm playing my cards right, we could crack into Wednesday. Then the next thing you know, all of next week is wiped out. There's no telling if people are generous enough. There's really no telling how far this community could lift Aaron up. And I think that's really wonderful.
Mike, does the skirt make you take out the trash?
Yeah. Well, hey, 2 months, I'm done.
Oh,
2 months. 2 months, I just have my own driveway.
Yeah. Make a burn pit out there. Just light it on fire.
But taking the trash out is a man's job, I would say.
No, that's true. No, that's true.
She does the housework.
Just a funny imagery for me.
I could walk through fire because of my children, my lovely girlfriend, my family, and you guys. Wow. Walk through a fucking burning building. Timothy with $10 says,
I like his giggle.
Yeah.
I always like the Aaron
himself.
giggle. Yeah, he really
tickled
does.
himself with that one.
Hey, faggot, what's next?
Thank you very much, Timothy. I appreciate that. It's just, look, where I come from, if someone gives you $800, you owe them at the very least gushing and actually a blowjob. You actually, technically, where I come from, if someone gives you $800 and you don't suck their dick, you're kind of, that's gay.
Why?
In an like, it's so, like, not doing the gay thing is so disrespectful that it's like a circle. It comes back around to gay.
A horseshoe, yeah.
In a weird way. All right, let's do this one. Is there hope for Minnesota?
That wit. Can Aaron ever turn it off, Just that sharp wit that he's got.
He really leans into the gay thing pretty hard.
It's a lot of, this is gay. That's gay. And he's like, if someone gives you $800 and you don't put on a schmaltzy speech, that's gay. Why? If you save a little dignity and say, sir, please, you don't need to give me that much money. Can I send it back to you, please? What's your Venmo? I'll send you that. That's too much. It's ridiculous. Please. That's what you do when someone gives you $800. You go, oh, come on. No, please. Keep your money. You don't go, wow. I would walk through fire for you. Just meaningless, empty job. All right, Aaron, I'm lighting a fire. Take your shoes off. Let's go. I'm not going to do that.
A fire he started, by the way. I'm walking through this fire that I...
That's a good point.
Poured gasoline on myself and started.
I will be an arsonist and then walk through my work for you guys.
I'm so brave. All right, a few super chats here. Then we got the great comedy captions stylings of GD Fenderson.
I forgot about that. God damn it. What time is it? Can we get out of here?
It's 9. We can go. We don't have to do a long time. 9 here. So
I'll give you a little GD. All right.
Mike, we have to get to the goddamn music at the end.
I know.
You guys are gonna love.
I just hate this guy now, but
I know he's horrible. Hamilton Burger, $2 Canadian. Again, thank you, Hamilton Burger. Man plans, the gold laughs.
That's damn straight.
It's profound.
It really
KFT for $1.99. We love Craig. Excited for him to sign with TSN. Let's just surely network. I get.
Is Craig shopping his talents around? That's exciting.
Yeah. Getty Van Halen again. $5. Hoping Rogan has Cumia back on. Not sure if it came up when Jim Norton was on Rogan the other day.
No, the Opie and Anthony came up. Anthony specifically, or the idea of I didn't hear that. I don't think I listened to the last half hour or so, but I don't believe Cumia's name came up. It is weird. Cumia talked about this a few months ago, where I think he texted Rogan when he was in Austin and never got a response. Rogan even mentioned on this episode with Norton, he changes his phone number a lot. He goes through a lot of new phones, so it could just be literally that he's lost touch. But you'd think at some point he would reach out to Anthony. I don't know. So I don't know if that relationship is strained or not, but I would like to see him back on there.
Absolutely. The Burnside one, $2. $800 is Aaron's child support payment for 3 kids.
There you go. But yeah, he had whatever that is. He's got it in mind. Where he's like, "All right, perfect. That's a bill, or that's a new set of clubs, or something."
JS, $19.99. Thank you very much, dude. I'm sitting here laughing my ass off at you breaking this down.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Thank you much, JS. All right, are we ready for the comedy stylings of one GD Fenderson?
I guess. I used to enjoy these GD Fenderson segments, and now it just left such an ugly taste in my mouth with the way they handled everything. If you haven't been following along, we talked about it on Patreon, so maybe some of you guys didn't see the fallout with GD Fenderson and his posse. But they were all shit talking me before. I didn't know this. They were all shit talking me before I got on the show, calling me a pussy, saying I wasn't going to come on. I don't even understand why that would be. Why wouldn't I go on? What would be even if they were like, "Hey, dickhead, why you make if they were confrontational? Why would I care? Who gives a shit? That's fine.
Because that's what they do. GD won't come on here. They run, and so they think, oh, he'll run like we run, but you didn't run.
So I called that out. I was like, they have a comedian on there. No, Dog was all right. Dog was a good guy. Dog actually has good perspective, and Dog is honest about his angle. Dog will openly say, "Oh, I want those guys to talk about me, so maybe I get a few views." But Dog is just saddled with such talentless creeps around him. Poor Dog, you gotta examine. It's not my fault. There's a reason you're on for 4 hours and the video has 12 views. It's not. I don't think it's me, Dog. So maybe think of the people around you. And these guys were like, "Oh, Mike's a little bitch." I called them out for it on this show, and they were like, "That's not what we did. That's not what we did at all. No, it was that he should have." One of the guys on the show said that I should have contacted GD Fenderson before I talked about him, and said, "Hey, we're about to talk about you, just so you know." And then I would be allowed to play clips of GD. We proved that I did that. I tagged him on Twitter and said, "Hey, we're talking about GD Fenderson today." So then they had nothing to say about that. Then GD, who was a lovely guy when I talked to him, or so it seemed, just starts bad-mouthing us, shitting on Casey Day, shitting on me and Craig, calling us inept, saying we're terrible at making fun of him, which, GD, we add something. We make it worth watching. I got to tell you, a lot more people watch us talk about this horrendous comedy special than actually watched it. So GD tried pulling that bullshit when I was on. He's like, "Yeah, it had thousands of views before I took it down, but I couldn't figure out YouTube." I'm sure it did. I'm sure it was Shane Gillis live in Austin numbers before you had to take it down. So no one watches this fucking thing if we're not talking about it. So I don't love giving them the time of day even, because they were such babies about it. They were such little two-faced babies that I don't even like giving them the time of day, but I like Dog. So go watch Dog's show, I guess. Coffee with the Dog. And we're going to see how much of GD's special we can get through because we started it. And I'm a man of principle. We start something, we're going to finish it eventually, by God. So we got to get through it. I just don't know if it'll have the same fun that it usually has, you know?
Yeah, you ruined it, GD. Thanks a lot.
You really did, but this will be an experiment. Can we make it to the end of this thing and have a little fun?
What I think he's ruined is he has like 4 other specials that we could have watched and had fun with. And, you know, this is a little get pushed back to maybe next season. You know,
I think so, yeah.
Unless a nice apology comes through. Because I swear, Mike, I heard him say one day.
I'm not interested in that.
Oh yeah.
He's lost that. You can't have me on.
That's true.
Have a great time, and then both before and after talk about what a pussy I am.
Yeah, no, that's
You can't do that. He had the chance to say everything to my face. And by the way, if I went on there and he goes, "Hey, you're a little bitch. You do all these reaction shows, but you don't have the people on. You don't confront them in person. You hide behind your." I would have sat there and taken it, and gone, "Oh, GD, you got me." But he lost that opportunity. He had me on and said nothing other than talking about how funny he found it.
And he would have been wrong because Ojeda, Tom Myers, you're actually one of the dudes that is willing to talk to anyone. So
I would like if Aaron was willing to come on, I would talk to him. Stuttering John or any of these guys. I'd be willing. Brendan. I'd love to talk to Brendan Schaub.
I'll tell you what, Aaron, and if we just keep it to the goal and we only discuss like rules of the goal and just
all I would care about.
Oh my God, we could have a fucking great show.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. But this GD guy said his wife woke him up laughing at your breakdown of him.
Well, here's the thing. He said that's not. She's like, I was lying about that.
He was lying about that.
It's not true.
He said that to your face.
And it's like, so I'm the loser in this. You lied to me and told us you liked us, and then we're lying about that. So I'm the pussy in all of this, apparently. Let's see what this dickhead wrote for comedy.
Oh no, this is not as gonna be. This might be funner actually. Let's see. We pick up where we left off last time from Krager's, and no setup needed.
When I was in the 5th grade, there was this girl I liked. We'll call her Marty.
Ed, I'm just gonna read you.
This bullshit again. God damn it. Boy, GD, can you ever let a joke breathe? You got it. It was actually kind of funny when he did it the first time. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
The Marty Ed thing. Oh, that was the real highlight. An hour and 15 minutes in to this fucking slog. This arduous piece of material that it's work to get through.
This might be my favorite GD thing ever.
You really know how to fucking drive it into the ground.
We were the last 2 in a spelling bee. And I know why am I giving you a math problem for a spelling bee? I'm sorry. We were the last 2 in a spelling bee.
It's not a math problem.
And
there's 2 of them.
I really liked her. So I let her win.
If you say, hey, we're the last 2 in the spelling bee, and one of us died, hopefully me. How many contestants are left? That would be a math problem. Just saying there's 2 people isn't a math problem, you jackass. You have no concept of anything. You're a moron.
Because I thought if she won, she'd be happy. Now, my word was Hanenput. I know what that word is, and I can spell it still to this day. Even though there's no U.
He spells it on the bottom, Haanepot.
Cool.
Use in the English language for Hanenput. I'm waiting for a chance to use it in a sentence, which is why I wrote this joke.
Technically not a joke, a true story.
That should be the name of the special. Technically not a joke.
That is funny.
Everything. By the way, now I'm in a mood. Retire that goddamn rim shot. It never makes sense when you play it. Get rid of it. It's banned from the show.
It's gone.
All right.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, a honeypot is a South African word. It means honeypot. It's a derivative of a little white grape. It's a honeypot grape. They call it a honeypot.
What an articulate sentence that was. Well
I
said,
misspelled
TD.
it then.
I like that he wrote this bit to prove how smart he is, and he stumbles and mumbles through it.
On purpose, so that she would like me. She wins, and after school, I say, Marty, congratulations.
Wait.
Now,
did it say Ed again?
It did. It just popped up. It just said.
Okay, good. I was going to say, you got to at least commit to it.
Consistency is important at this point.
I'll walk you home from school. No. You're a loser.
Yep.
Now, has anyone ever said something to you and you did not think of the response until later? It's like,
no, GD. Actually, no one's ever covered that. It's not an episode of Seinfeld from 30 years ago. That's a really interesting observation.
you're a loser. And I'm like, so? No. See, I know what I should have said. I should have said, Marty.
The jerk store called, and they're all out of you.
Marty, you're so beautiful. And because you're so beautiful, I was under your spell, and therefore I forgot how to spell. That's beautiful, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, it's beautiful for a
This
fifth
guy's such an
grader.
exhausting way of speaking. It feels like he's building to something, and then he says nothing.
Except for I was 28 when I thought of that.
Oh, that's much older than he was in the spelling bee, right?
Correct.
That's very
Also,
funny.
the tag here is it took another 28 years to laugh about it.
Oh, God.
It's not even jokes now or tags. There's just explanations for what he's saying.
But the story he's telling, that's what this whole special is like he didn't think of actually good jokes before he recorded it. By the way, this jackass, this pompous asshole, recorded this special 6 weeks into comedy or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's how highly he thinks of his material. Is
2 hours.
I need to get this on tape. I need the people to see it. So he just rushed a comedy special out, didn't think of any punchlines, then later thought of things that would have been better, and were like, oh, I'll just sloppily put them on the screen. Maybe that'll get a laugh.
Yeah. Instead, what I said was, I let you win. And so she says, you're a loser and you're stupid. So for the rest of the school year, I had to sit across from Marty.
Ed.
Thank you.
Watching Marty's breasts grow.
Ed's.
Through puberty.
This is so creepy.
Becoming a young lady. And the only thing I could think of was Han and Poot. Han and Poot. I was going to take my Han and put it around her neck. Hit her with my dictionary.
What the fuck?
See who's the source.
Hold on.
Throw the book at her.
Is he talking about sexually assaulting this young girl?
More violent, but just a violent assault.
No, he said, go back. I think you're missing some of the subtle nuances, Casey.
Possible.
Dictionary, I believe, is his penis. Get it?
Oh, because it's dick.
Oh,
Okay.
it's very funny.
Okay.
I believe he's saying he's going to strangle her and shove his cock inside her.
Okay, I missed that.
I think that's what he's saying about this young girl in the spelling bee that he's talking about. Maybe I'm crazy. Let's play it again.
I was going to take my hand and put it around her neck. Hit her with my dictionary.
Okay. Oh.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
What else could that mean?
See who's the source.
That's pretty,
And see who's the sorest. So I guess she's going to be sore. Her pussy's going to be sore after he's done raping her. That's what this joke is.
A child in a spelling bee, right?
And by the way, GD, if you comment on this video and go, actually, it's not what it meant, you're banned. You're going to be blocked from the channel. Do not comment on this video and try to correct it. Nobody gives a shit. You're a fucking loser. He goes back and comments on every video we've posted and been like, well, actually, here's what the joke meant. And I got to tell you, GD, when I'm done reading those, boy, am I howling. Boy, am I saying, oh, you know what? He convinced me. It is funny. None of us laughed or understood it when we watched it, but now that he's explained it to me, God, is it funny. So you can save the comment, please. Don't fucking bother. Usually I enjoy the interaction from people. Everyone else engage. Comment away. GD, you can save it. I don't give a shit what you actually meant by shove my dictionary in her or whatever you said.
The irony here is he actually came up with something that's pretty funny. Like if Nick Mullen or someone was doing closed caption under other people's comedy, like
genius.
this,
Yeah,
I'd laugh my ass off.
It's a shame such an interesting concept, an innovative concept, was
ruined.
wasted on this utter drivel, this complete dreck, just a useless comedy special that I don't know why I'm doing it, but if it wasn't for me, literally no one would see it. Now a couple people will see it. But I could have saved the world. No one had to see this. And it could be like, it feels like a Bo Burnham type of idea. Like it's actually an interesting, funny thing. And it is just wasted on nothing. This guy that thinks it's funny, it's like, hey, the girl I liked, her name was Marty. That's an unusual female name. Hilarious.
Even like done by a good person, the comments left after could be funny. This whole thing could be hilarious, but it is.
Yes. It's just wasted on an empty nothing. A useless loser.
Hi, GD. Throw the book at her, I said.
The French have a word for that, not thinking of something until after the moment's over. It's l'esprit de l'escalier, the spirit of the staircase.
We call it slow.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what it means. You'll forget before you go home. You won't even remember any of the French I just taught you tonight. You'll go, the only thing you'll remember is voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir, and that's because Patti LaBelle taught you.
Well,
if it weren't for Patty,
you didn't teach it. You just said it.
Kind
You
of
didn't teach any French. You just mumbled through it.
Stumbled through it.
Patty, you wouldn't even know that. I was doing comedy in Florida, and I had to follow this comedian. I didn't have to follow him. I volunteered. What happened was the host says to me, GD,
we need someone to bomb. Stat. You're the best man for the job. We need to clear these people out of here. There's too much audience.
Fire department needs people out. Stat, get up there, GD.
You go on a little bit later, this next comedian, I want to put him up because he has to return his costume. Sure, I didn't want to be a dick. So I let him go. So the guy comes to the stage, he's dressed as a dick.
What?
From head to toe. From head to shaft to testicles. He's dressed as a dick. And for 12 minutes, he told bad dick jokes. Limp dick jokes.
E.D.
I don't even get
take
this
off the
story. This obviously didn't happen, right?
I'm lost. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. I'm still at the spelling bee. I don't know what's going on here.
When it was my turn to go up there, I did not know what to say. I was dumbfounded.
Do everyone a favor, say nothing. Don't do your act. It's the worst. I got news for you. If you're ever thinking, what should I say? Your act is the worst option. So wipe that from your brain. Don't ever think, what should I say? If the answer is ever my material, you're wrong. Keep thinking.
Lean into crowd work, GD. You need it.
So I just went up and I did my 15 minutes. I just went, wow.
Well, that's powerful stuff.
On the way home, about 30 minutes into the drive, I said to my wife, damn it! What? I know what I should have said now. I should have said, I've always been accused of being led around by my dick, but it's the first time I've ever followed one.
Boy, what a tremendous lack of payoff that was.
Yeah, then there was a weird jump cut, and it goes 30 minutes. Is that 30? Yeah, 30 minutes thinking about dick.
He writes down?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's... There was a weird cut that I didn't make that's just in his... So he must have really bombed in a section, had to cut that out.
Oh, maybe this is like Chris Rock's special when he's in Johannesburg and London and New York City. Just bounces back. He's just taking a while to implement.
Now,
this is begin bonus footage, it says. So this
I was hoping, the one thing I had a problem with this special is I was hoping the audio quality would get worse halfway through. That's good.
Yeah.
I was saying, I don't know. I can hear it too well. I hope it gets muffled an hour and 20 minutes in.
Well, the hour and 20 minutes he's done, he's determined we've hit the goal. We're into bonus footage. We're into bonus time.
It makes sense that. Are we actually an hour 20? What's the exact? Do we know the exact?
I think, yeah, we're about it. Well, 48 minutes in, I'd say, and we have 54 left because it's about an hour 48 minutes, hour 50 minutes, 2 hours. This fucking guy.
Wait, so I was confused by that. How far are we now?
We're about an hour in, and we have a 54.
We've gone back in time. How could that be? I thought we were way over an hour.
Like an hour 10. No, you and Craig did not cover a lot last time. It was like 3 minutes of actual tape, and because he.
Oh, true. We did get hung up on one particular.
It's these words; they stop it, and so you think we cover a lot more than we do, but we still have 54 minutes or 49 minutes left.
We are absolutely. Listen, this podcast isn't the first to. We don't hit a lot of firsts. I'm not going to claim to be the first to do anything in particular, but where I will do a little boasting is we are, without a doubt, the first people to ever see whatever happens next. There's no chance any human being, even GD editing it, I don't think it made it this far in. As you can tell by the sound quality. I don't think anyone has ever made it this far into this special. So we're entering uncharted ground here. We're the first humans to ever watch this far into this special. That's called, what is it called? My Mom Said What? Or whatever the fuck it is.
That's exactly it. And yeah, this is like a part of Australia no man's been in for thousands. No man has wandered in for thousands of years.
Yeah, this is interesting.
All right, but let's begin the bonus footage now.
I don't know if you remember your favorite candy as a kid.
Mr. Goodbar.
Nice.
What it tastes like.
That's him saying that.
It's good to add some that aren't jokes. You know, just have some serious captions. Like, here's my favorite candy, in all seriousness. Kidding aside, I enjoyed a Mr. Goodbar. I'm glad we got that information.
I love that when he was editing, he's like, oh, we got to stop in here. We got to put in one I like.
Yeah, well, they're going to be wondering what my favorite candy is, no doubt. So,
What it smelled like.
What it smelled like? You ever smell a candy bar?
How it felt on your genitals.
A really good bar. You get it? A good bar.
Oh, that's why he did the Mr. Goodbar.
Mm-hmm.
For a ham-handed penis joke.
At least
How it
wasn't
feels on your genitals. There's not even a joke there. He's just saying genitals and hoping it provokes a laugh.
At least he wasn't beating a lady at a spelling bee with his penis this time. So.
That was troubling. We didn't spend nearly enough time on that.
No, I'm glad we moved on from it. It was probably better.
I think that was a King Azoulay type
yes.
admission.
There's a guy in England. Well, in England, they have Pop Rocks, but they don't call it Pop Rocks. They call it Fizz Whiz.
If I was totally unrelated, I watched I actually reviewed Jim Norton's special on Patreon. Go check it out on Patreon if you're interested in my take on Jim Norton's Unconceivable. Very good special that he just released. And one thing I actually said this to the Skirt as we were watching it. I said, it's very funny. I just wish there was someone crinkling something right next to the microphone. I wish I could hear just a slight crinkling. And I'm glad a genius like Jim Norton wasn't able to do it, but I'm glad GD was able to bring that to life for me. Just an ever so subtle crinkling next to the microphone. I'm glad he included that.
Yeah, my comedy shows I like a little cat eating a piece of plastic by the microphone.
Yeah,
that always
it adds ambiance.
It does.
Fizz, like bubbly, and whiz, like smart. Like you should be smart enough not to do what Gareth Pimpleton did. Gareth Pimpleton.
Oh, good. Leave the part in where there's the crinkling and you fumble a word. That's perfect, GD. This is special worthy.
Like the way Pop Rocks felt.
What is that fucking noise?
I think it's his dreads on his microphone. I don't know.
God damn it.
So much that he wanted to know what it felt like on his penis.
A penis joke.
Under his foreskin.
Yeah. Penises are fun.
See, now you know another use for that little flap of skin. You're welcome. See,
it's like a voodoo rattle torture.
He's walking.
I can't get it out of my head.
It's like he's walking in bubble wrap, Mike.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
People might call that a life hack. I call it a tip.
He's walking on bubble wrap, but they're all popped, so you're not even getting that satisfaction.
We're not even getting the fun. God damn.
Yeah.
His comedy act is a popped bubble wrap. That should have been.
I can't pay attention to what he's saying. It's so distracting. Can everyone else hear that? The people at home can hear that?
Oh yeah. That's part of the
wild.
fun. Let's hope that's in the next 48 minutes and the guitar part. I want to hear that. I'll count that as the rhythm section when he.
I got news for you. If it's like this, the rest of this, we're just not watching it. It's insufferable.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sure it clears up, Mike. You know, this is a man that solves problems.
Yeah, no, it
He's a
seems like
problem solver.
it's a professional job. I have no doubt.
apparently, this is a common occurrence because the makers of FizzWiz and their attorneys put out a statement saying that
it sounds like someone's got no popcorn left, but they keep reaching into the bag and rooting around with the kernels. That's what it sounds like.
Normal circumcisions, under normal circumstances.
Oh, that's hey, circumcision's a funny word. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Misdirection. Mike.
Put a pop rock under your foreskin and have no ill side effects as long as you clean it afterwards.
Moil, not moil. So the first moil is spelled M-O-Y-L-E. The second one is M-O-I-L. Moil, not moil. I don't understand that.
Which is correct?
Chat, let us know which one's right.
But this is GD owning us. They don't even know how to spell moil. Who gives a fuck?
Moil,
not moil. Hold on. This might be the one. Go back. I was.
We got him.
Go back. All right. I was too consumed by the crinkling. I'm going to try and tune that out to hear this joke. Go back. Go a little ways back because I want to hear
the set.
GD gets very upset that we talk over the clips. I got news for you, GD. If we're not talking over them, no one's fucking watching this. So you better pray we're talking over it if you ever want anyone to hear this. But I want to give it its just due.
The FizzWiz and their attorneys put out a statement saying that under normal circumstances, you
got to go back even further. You gotta
Oh,
go
Jesus.
way back. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Here we go.
Some people might call that a life hack. I call it a tip. Now, apparently, this is a common occurrence because the makers of FizzWiz and their attorneys put out a statement.
Back even further. We gotta go.
damn.
We gotta go way back, please. I'm begging you.
No, we got it. All right, I'm going back. This is a minute prior.
There's a guy in England. Well, in England, they have pop rocks, but they don't call it pop rocks. They call it FizzWiz.
Okay.
Fizz, like bubbly, and whiz, like smart. Like you should be smart enough not to do what Gareth Pimpleton did.
I'll tell you why that doesn't work. Aside from him mispronouncing the name, which is a great touch, I'll tell you why that doesn't work. And this is something my buddy Tom Myers is guilty of. Tom, I love you, buddy. I'm sorry to do this to your friend GD. But this is something Tom can be guilty of as well. He blew the punchline. Now we know Gareth Pimpleton is into some muck and mire. He's in trouble. He's screwed up. He bungled the job. Now we know that. You can't say that first. He screwed up the order.
Gareth Pimpleton from England liked the way pop rocks felt and tasted so much that he wanted to know what it felt like on his penis, under his foreskin. Yeah. See, now you know another use for that little flap of skin.
No, it's not another use.
You're welcome. See, some people might call that a life hack. I call it a tip.
The wind up for that atrocious play on words. So you could just go, that's a little tip for you. And then people go, hey, a little double entendre. I like the wind up to the swing for such a miss. Like a who gives a fuck. That's winding all the way back and bunting and it going foul is what he just did. Where he's like, now some people call that a life hack. But get ready for it, folks. I call it a tip because we're talking about circumcised cocks. We got it, GD.
My philosophy is he leaves a little on the table for the caption. He knows that the caption is going to take care of some of this. So
The caption's going to take it home. Yeah, you're not wrong. That is, he knows where his bread is buttered.
He's really broken a joke down into 3 parts: the setup, the punchline, and the caption. It's a whole.
So, okay, I think I'm with him so far. Gareth Pimbleton put pop rocks under the foreskin of his penis, or into the foreskin, whatever. I'm with him so far.
Now, apparently, this is a common occurrence because the makers of FizzWiz and their attorneys put out a statement saying that under normal circumstances,
oh, you rascal,
you can put a pop rock under your foreskin and have no ill side effects as long as you clean it afterwards.
Okay.
And here we are with the moil, not moil.
So does moil, is there a word moil for like cleaning?
I know moil in one. Okay, I'm Googling it. Fuck it. Moil meaning. I know it's means bald. It can mean bald.
Okay.
And it also can be a Jewish term for someone who's doing
that we know.
circumcision.
That we know.
So it's bald is the other term, and then like a Celtic origin.
But and that's spelled both because he says moil. You're spelling it M-O-Y-L-E.
Yeah, that's M-O-Y-L-E, and then the way he's spelling it is M-O-I-L.
No, but he says not moil.
Right, which means to. So he's saying moil like the Jewish circumcision guy.
Yes, right.
Not moil like, and then I Google that moil, and it says archaic dialect. No one uses this. It means to work hard. Used in a sentence, men who moiled for gold.
Moil, not moil.
So a preacher, not a guy working hard.
Men who moiled for gold.
I'm stuck. Chad, help us out.
I'm stumped here. Moil, not moil. He's saying that you don't have to work hard?
Yeah, I'm not. No one. This is Stump the World, this one.
No one gets it?
We're at 6 feet down. We're 6 toes down, whatever. We're in that territory. The
Okay.
Trump thing. Yeah.
In that case, I guess I'll just move on. It's unsolvable.
Give us your best in chat, and I'll see if.
If you have any guesses, feel free to fire away.
Yeah.
A candy company put a statement out saying that. The problem is he didn't wash it for 3 weeks.
Oh, good God. He has a word here I can't read because of his stupid white screen there. But it says the cleaner wiener is the last part of that. So,
Why?
What the fuck
Just because it rhymes?
Yeah, there's a word you can't read because he has a white background. It's a white word. Could you not see that in your editing, GD? God damn.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
Doesn't fix it.
This resulted in smegma. Yeah. A word
I'm losing patience.
Ball cheese.
Uncircumcised people would not know about. Smegma is this flaky crust that develops on a penis if it's not cleaned properly, making it the worst.
This is actually the least disgusting part of his act. Him attempting jokes is far worse than him describing smegma.
Ever. So, not only did he not wash it, but after it began to get infected, he did not go see a doctor for over a month, until the pain got so bad that he passed out in the middle of the street, and he took him to the doctors.
There better be a
The
payoff.
doctors took one look at his tallywhacker.
If he pulls out that word from the spelling bee right now, that's a callback. He's not going to do that, right?
I don't even know if it
And
would
gave-
apply, but you're not wrong, I guess.
It wouldn't matter. It just that you had knowledge that something could work from the past.
For an emergency circumcision for his confection infection.
When good bars go bad.
Oh.
Now, tallywhacker, for those of you who do not know,
It means penis. It's a funny word for penis.
Let me check that out on Google. Yep.
is what the British call a pecker. And for those of you who are uninitiated, a pecker
I'm getting
is what they
exhausted.
call a chin.
I can tell. It's fucking amazing.
So somebody from Britain says to you, keep your pecker up, not just a little.
He's pointing at his chin there, Mike. Just
a travel tip.
I was able to put it together.
Or life hack.
I'm glad he's miming it for people. If you, in case you didn't get it, keep your pecker up. I'm not talking about my cock. Get your mind out of the gutter. It's hilarious.
So, they perform it.
We've played 4 minutes of this tape, Mike. Just
surgery.
It's not going to be 5. I'm winding down.
Okay. Let's get to one big last joke, one big caption, and we'll.
Yeah, next huge laugh.
Oh God, we're here.
Him some kick-ass antibiotics to prevent necrotizing fasciitis, which is the Fox News of parasites. And when the gentleman talked to the newspaper about it, I know. How do you think I found out about this? You think I follow around people looking for dick jokes? No. I read. He says that's the biggest mistake he ever made in his life.
He really sucks his own dick a lot, huh? For how intellectual he is.
Yeah, I go to Google, I type in dick, I make a joke. That's what I do.
Yeah.
All his jokes are dick jokes.
Well, of course, that was before he voted for Brexit.
You Brexit, you buys it.
I kind of like that one. It doesn't make any sense, but I kind of like it.
I love that he stopped it, had to do the editing. He's like, "Yep, this is going in."
He's winning me
so
back.
much. Yeah, there's so much forethought.
Brexit, he buys it.
Brexit should have been a saying.
It makes no sense.
The guy's British, Mike.
It doesn't apply to what he's talking about.
He had a thing on his penis. You Brexit, you buy it.
Yeah.
For people. Okay, a newspaper is what we used to have before the internet. Oh, sorry. I
Okay,
shouldn't
I'm
have said
done.
paper.
That's
the newspaper talk got him.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's G.D. Fenderson.
Get back to him another day, I'm sure.
That might be my favorite segment ever that you've ever done.
He's an exhausting guy. Fuck him.
All right, we got a few super chats, Mike, and then we'll get out of here.
All right.
A few that don't like me. Harpua, $2. F that rim shot. 86 Casey next.
Baby steps.
Yeah. A thing at a time. No Electra, as you can see. So he already kicked her out. No,
That's true.
No, she's voluntarily taking the day. J-Bone Slocum, $2. God damn it! A lot of child assault for Casey week. I don't choose the subjects. It's just
it really was. It was accidental, but it really was a lot of just illicit activity in general.
Yeah, I don't like that. Mike, where can people?
We can't talk about that stuff when Craig is on because he gets all hot and bothered.
Like he beat the charges. We all know he beat the charges.
Just licking his lips the whole time when I showed him that King Azoulay chunk.
He's moved on to Love Island. That's what.
I thought it was inappropriate that he called King Azoulay a master of his craft.
Oh no!
I didn't care for that phrasing. I thought it was gross. But
railroaded is what I heard him say.
Keeping another good man down.
I love you, Craigers. Where can they find you?
BlindMike.net is where they can find me and all my links. And we just did another episode of Why You Laughing that'll be available to the public in the fall. But if you want it months early, before everyone else, become a member on Patreon or YouTube. You get early access and bonus content there. If you're a member, or just support the show for free, we appreciate that as well. If you like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff helps more people find the show. So if you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button and leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of GD's special. How good you thought it was.
We'll see you in the comment section, GD.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Blocked. And that's an immediate block.
And then we go to verygoodshow.org for Craigers. Make sure you get over there. Check that out. And then right after the show, we got Unboxing Eric. If you like Eric, the actor from the Howard Stern show.
Go watch
we're up
that.
to almost call 200 now. My God. I can't believe I'm still doing this. And go to HackRideStudios.com for us. Thank you, Mike. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And
bye-bye.
Release you.
And we have a meme transition.
Hey, it's Boogie.
Sappers through the way, everyone up.
Now, this is a very interesting tip. Now, really, ladies, if you're listening, and men, and everybody in between.
If I tell you you've got a homicide, buddy, you've got a homicide.
I hope to hear from you soon.
I am proud to own the Trumpy Bear, and I will always be proud to be an American.
Put it in the outro.
Until then, have yourself a great day, and as always,
There's no cum on my mic.
rock on.
Stop the baloney, huh?
What kind of statement is that?
I wrote it. One of my favorite players to cover when he was here was Mike Vrabel. Tell me Mike Vrabel's story. Whatever, dude. I keep it cool at the gym.
Piss on it.
Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. All right.
Stop! My belly hurts.
My dad was in the military.
Was that, sir?
Can you please kindly F off, please?
If a person is on a bridge, threatening to jump, how do we know that he wants help?
Okay, I hope nothing bad happened.
Money, 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 money. Fuck, please.
Anyway, God bless America.
Put it in the outro.